and highs close to the low to mid 30s on Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
Don't touch my beef jerky now.
Here's Jones on a keeper. Out over the 40 to midfield. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Got him looking. Hagen Smith has tied the school record with 17 strikeouts, but he's done it in 6 dominating innings. Peyton Holt in center field makes the catch. Runners don't try to score. Zonet's coming home. He throws to third. Sprague Lott fires to the plate. They got him.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now app, I'm Phil Elson, live in Columbia, South Carolina, where women's basketball plays against the Carolina team that's lost 2 of 3 and is not used to even losing 3 games in a season. Matt Jones and Christian Johnston in our ESPN Arkansas headquarters on a day where it is rainy and foggy outside my window today. Has anything melted outside your windows yet, guys? What's going on in the natural state?
The river valley is fine.
Okay.
Now as you go north above the tunnel, it still might be a little sketchy, but here in the river valley, it's pretty good.
No sketch whatsoever here in the Midlands, as they call this part of South Carolina, where taking on the Gamecocks, a team that Arkansas has struggled. Most teams, look, it's not just Arkansas. Every team struggles against them, and going to be a tough one for the ladies tonight. Man, got to give it to the basketball team last night, Matt. They really did come that close. Just like they came that close against Texas A&M, just like they came that close against Alabama. And as John Calipari said after the game yesterday, right now, just struggling to finish teams off. And it leaves you frustrated while thinking, you know what, this team isn't really as bad as some people might say they are, but still struggling to score, some turnovers at some bad times. And you just got to give it to Auburn because that's obviously, Matt, a team that knows how to win ball games of varying styles. They say number one for a reason. I feel like we saw a reason last night that the Tigers are remaining number one.
Yeah, man, that valiant effort by the Hogs. Still give up too many easy baskets, stop ball in transition, after timeout, inbounds plays, losing your man. What was Trevion Brazile doing? I mean, walking time bomb on the court. Worst game I've seen him play. But Janelle Davis, best game I've seen him play as a Razorback. Missed his first couple threes, and what did he do? Got to the free throw line. That's his strong suit. What does he do? Plays defense. He's one of the best defensive guards, if not our best defensive guards. Big Z, got to have a plan B. Hey, cool, man, you got a three-point shot, but where is your plan B? You got to have something else. And, Nick Saban talks about having 3 moves. All the good players have 1 move. They got a plan A. Do you have a plan B, and can you get to a plan C? And then Wagner and 3, man, those dudes, I love their game. Everything about the way they play, I like it.
Well, isn't it something to watch as this season is going on? The growth of Carter Knox and Billy Richmond, two guys that are going to be pillars of the program next year and maybe a year after that. Who knows? But you use the word development, and I'm seeing development from those two. Richmond on both ends of the court. I think it's a guy who's going to be a great scorer at the point guard position. I like Knox's game through and through. but we haven't seen development of some of the older players who I don't know if they're just finished developing or not, or if it's a matter of injuries or what it is, but Trevin Brazil has not developed this year, not at all, certainly not during the conference season, and Jonas Adu has regressed as this season has continued. So, I mean, it's good to see Nelly, playing as well as he did yesterday, for the most part on both ends, because he's playing with some pride. And, I don't want to maybe use that word to make it seem like the other guys don't have pride in what it is they do. It's just they haven't improved. And, look, even if Arkansas played their best on the offensive end, there's enough offensively for Auburn to kick it in when they need it. Matt, when it comes down to it, and I think this can be a problem when you're playing Missouri, a team that's routinely getting to 85 points, it's just if you're facing a team that can D you up, Arkansas is just offensively challenged. There are too many ifs, and a lot of those ifs don't get answered affirmatively. Keeping Auburn in the 60s felt like an accomplishment, Matt. It's just Arkansas couldn't make enough shots and couldn't make enough free throws when it came down to it.
Auburn's best NBA prospect might be their sixth man. That's how deep Auburn is. They kind of remind me of a North Carolina team Roy Williams had years ago. I want to say they had 3 or 4 guys get drafted, but the guy that went first in the NBA draft wasn't even a starter on that team. I mean, he went to the Charlotte Bobcats. I don't think he ended up doing anything, but that number 10 guy for Auburn, man, that dude can play. You see their depth. Not one single player on the team made more than 1 3-pointer. You just kind of think, I get what you're saying, Phil. Hey, we kept it close, but emotional kids, Wednesday night, they just had their emotional game. Auburn has 3 ranked opponents left with a finale against Alabama. You kind of think they were going through it, and Arkansas is not that well. So, I'm not saying they're not giving their best, but you're kind of going through it, kind of testing the waters out. And, yeah, Arkansas, they play defense. If you play defense travels and you got a chance. We just our guard play, we don't really have a lot of shots from the outside.
Yeah. I think the way you're saying is you missed out on an opportunity to beat a team that wasn't playing their best. So I wouldn't expect that to be the case when Mizzou comes in on Saturday, fresh off 110 points in an absolute beating of Alabama. And now Alabama's dropped 2 games in a row. So Mizzou is looking right now potentially like the second best team in the SEC right now, and there's no guarantee that that just because it's at home that it's going to be a win for Arkansas. Keeping in mind who they've already lost to at home this year, so yeah, it's that was a missed opportunity yesterday. I think the way you put it is about right, because Auburn doesn't take their eye off of the target too often. Let me explain what happened last night. We travel out here to Columbia for tonight's basketball game, the women's game. End up going to a place nearby with some of the coaches, which included neighbors, for to watch the men's game. Get something to eat, something to drink. It's 9:00 tip-off Eastern time where we're located, and there's about they did last call at 10:30. And start to turn off some of the televisions. They kept our TV on so we could at least finish watching the game. Then one of the guys comes out of the kitchen, Matt, at 11 o'clock, and he'd had enough. Everybody was really nice about things up until that point. He grabs the remote control. He turns the game off with 1 minute to go. 1 minute left in that basketball game that we had been watching for. We'd been there for 2.5 hours. And we'd paid our bills. We had tipped everybody. That was their moment to show, get the heck out of here. Admittedly, you can always put a game on your phone if you got the right apps, but that felt like a step too far. And so I almost felt like throwing it out there. If you see you see this Reddit page before, it's called "Am I the Asshole?" I'll say that once and then just leave it there. Who here is the A in this? Is it those who are letting you sit there and watch the game up until they say, that's it, I don't care if there's 1 minute, 30 seconds left in a game that's 3 points, we're turning it off and you're getting out of here? Or is it us, the ones who were there and the paying customers who asked to watch the last 60 minutes, that were the a-holes? I don't really know, because I'm part of this situation.
It's a real Sophie's choice. Yeah, I don't. That seems a little stressful, I guess, for no reason.
Well, it didn't have to get stressful, and it really didn't, because at that point, all I said is, all right, well, I guess I'll be back here in a couple of
See
years,
you
and I'll
around.
never step foot in Hickory Tavern ever again. So anyway, the food was okay, the drinks were fine, and the hospitality was very good up until there was a minute left, and they'd had enough of us at that point. So felt very weird. Usually it's a matter of, can you get the game on that TV right there, and then if you're too slow or they never put it on, then there's an issue. But, yeah, not 2.5 hours after. So anybody let us know who the a-hole is here. If it's us, fine. I mean, I'll accept it. If it's them, yes, that's the way I view it. 877-377-6963. Here's halftime for this Thursday. No Brett Dolan today. He will be up in the air somewhere traveling. I'm not sure exactly where, so no Brett Dolan today. But Bubba Carpenter will be coming on at 1:15 at Arkansas baseball right now. Somewhere between Fayetteville and Arlington, so I'll assume they're in Oklahoma at the moment on a couple of buses on their way down to Arlington for the annual trip to Globe Life Field. K-State tomorrow, TCU Saturday, and then Michigan on Sunday. They haven't announced the starting rotation yet, but I think later on this afternoon, maybe by the time halftime is concluded at 2, we'll know who the third starter will be. And Dudley Dawson will join us in about an hour to look back at this Arkansas Auburn basketball game and looking ahead, which is what we're about to do, to see what does Arkansas need to do to make the tournament. And then what goes along with that, you make the tournament, don't you want to stick around for a while? Do you think this team can win some tournament games? 877-377-6963 to get with us here on halftime today. And, nobody's going to tell me that I'm snoring here in a hotel room all by myself, but there's quite often if you sleep next to somebody, they're going to let you know that you snore. Might get booted out of the bedroom. Maybe she or he moves out of the bedroom and feels a little bit awkward. You can get $300 off of a snore guard if you go to Valley Family Dental, used to be known as Riley Farm Dental, and let them know that you heard about them here on ESPN Radio. Also at Riley Farm Dental, they provide every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice, specializing in everything: general dentistry, braces, implants, cosmetics, and same-day crowns also available now. You'll have a better smile, a better life, be more confident, and a comfortable experience every time at Valley Family Dental. They're at 5901 Riley Farm Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farm in Fort Smith off Highway 71, 226-3500, valleyfamilydentalpractice.com. Stay with us. A look ahead on Arkansas's basketball schedule, and still looking back at yesterday's loss to Auburn in just a moment here on halftime.
When Matt Jones and Houston Nutt teams were playing back in the day, if those guys had 4 wins on their record at the end of the season, they still got in there and they beat the tar out of everybody.
This is halftime.
Here's the 1-1. Swung on, skied in the left. That ball's hit pretty well, and it's gone! Brett Eibner's hit a home run, and the ball game's tied. Brett Eibner has hit a home run, and the ball game is tied. The Razorbacks down to their final out, and Eibner, for all his troubles this season, has just saved things.
Listen to every Razorback baseball game on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com. Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
When second's making a play, short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage.
It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself. 1, 2, 3,
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Call Wade Gilkey or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Looking for a way to get your favorite lures from Pradco at the click of a button? Learnit.com not only has brands such as Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more, but the site includes exclusive deals and baits you won't find anywhere else for your favorite brands. We have free shipping for all U.S. orders over $35, so be sure to treat your favorite fishing buddy or yourself to some new tackle box treasures. Check out Learnit.com today.
Doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals are just people. They've got their lives and families same as you and me. But what happens when big hospitals and insurance companies ask too much of them and make them work too many hours? Without enough help, you can only stretch something so far before it breaks and people get hurt or even die. That's where I come in. If the healthcare system in our area has hurt you or someone you love, call me. Together, let's make them do healthcare better. I'm Phil Votaw, and you've never met a lawyer like me.
Are you a gamer, working from home, a family with lots of connected devices? Ozarks Go offers faster speeds, better connections, and more reliability. Leave your frustration and buffering from your current provider and get Ozarks Go. Ozarks Go provides real, affordable broadband internet to homes and businesses in Northwest Arkansas. Ready to get the best? Then go to ozarksgo.net and sign up now. Don't wait any longer. Faster speeds, better connections, and more reliability. Visit ozarksgo.net today.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
What baby do another says I'm lucky to meet you. I'm talking about the bigness and about me. It is now my duty to a time through with you without no affection. That's it, that's for you're all that we kiss. From now on, you're
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Anybody who watched that game says they just got to win some games. They're an NCAA tournament.
We're so close.
But we got to win games, see?
That's John Calipari after yesterday's game, post-game with Matt Zimmerman on the radio broadcast, and it's a very simple statement. You got to win some games. And right now, the number of wins you have isn't going to be enough. And I don't think just winning against South Carolina and Vanderbilt is going to be enough. You need a winning record over these next 5 games. I don't care what happens in Nashville. You are going to make your bones based upon what happens in these next 5 games. I don't know if this is a team right now that can beat Missouri as well as Mizzou is playing. I think there's wins to be had against Texas, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. Mississippi State beating A&M yesterday says a lot about them. So, Matt, where do these wins come from, and how many do they need?
I think 7's the magic number. I know some people think 6 might get you in, since it seems like just making the NCAA tournament is the participation ribbon, if it only takes 6 conference wins. But, you got to beat somebody you're not supposed to beat. So, who'd we beat? Kentucky this year. We weren't supposed to beat them. What's our
underdog at Texas?
Texas was the other one. We get Texas at home. I think they'll come in. I mean, these next two games, these are real basketball teams. Texas is they're a borderline tournament team, right? Missouri's in for sure. Mississippi State's in for sure. Vanderbilt, they're in for sure. So you're playing three. These are real. To me, those are quad one wins. Like if you're talking about a team that's at an at-large bid, I don't know how they do everything they do it, but if they're an at-large bid, man, that means they're a good team. So 4 of your next 5 games are against real teams.
Vandy's kind of slumping, though. They've dropped 5 of the last
I've seen
6
Vandy
games.
play 0% this year. I haven't seen them play a single game.
We still, we're remembering the wins over Tennessee and Kentucky. They have just 1 win in 6 games since the victory over Kentucky. So,
and you wonder,
that is a winnable game, but it's also in that really difficult building that's tough to win inside.
You wonder a little about Kentucky because Kentucky, their offensive power is not denied. If they have all their bullets, they can score. I don't see Kentucky just buckling down and being able to get 3 stops in a row. I just don't know how much. I don't really believe in Kentucky.
You feel the same way about Tennessee, though Arkansas. I played Tennessee the first.
I like
game of
Tennessee.
SEC play.
I like Tennessee better than Kentucky.
Yeah.
Auburn and Alabama, I think, and I like Florida, but I don't believe in. It's like maybe it's a totally different Florida team, but the last couple years, if you put pressure on Florida's guards, they'll turn it away. Their bigs are run the floor bigs. What else can they do? So they're going to have to play. So I think Florida still has some deficiencies. They beat us pretty good, but yeah, Florida's good. But I think Auburn and Alabama. I know Alabama's lost 2 in a row, and Missouri's on a hot streak. And however you want to look at it, if those are your top 4, but my top 2 would be Auburn and Alabama.
So an interesting text from Guy in Fort Smith here. He says he's really enjoyed watching this team this year, and he could see them missing the NCAA tournament, but could also see them winning several games in the tournament. But either way, he likes having Cal as the coach, and I agree. We're watching them in this incredibly difficult SEC. You play Auburn. Now, let's not even look at it as Auburn. Let's just look at Mizzou, a team right now that would be, I don't know, a 2 or 3 seed. And the rest of the games that you're playing are, again, outside of Carolina, everybody's fighting for seeding or to get off the bubble. I think in Vandy's case and certainly Arkansas's case. They're all, as Cal says, NCAA tournament games. I think you could view the Carolina game even as an NCAA tournament game because you lose that game and your season's going to end when you're finished in Nashville. Well, I guess you'd go to the NIT, but your season wouldn't end in the NCAA tournament. We'll put it that way. But if you're able to hang with Auburn on the road in that building, in that environment, what's not to say that you can't win a game in Dayton and then find a way after that to beat a what is it if you win? Do you play the top seed after that? You don't play the top seed. You play somewhere in the middle seeding.
If you're going to win in March, and this is just my experience from watching the tournament, Phil, I know you've watched the tournament for a lot of years too. You have to be able to shoot a 3-pointer. Mm-hmm. I don't see this team making a run. We don't shoot unless all of a sudden we start playing like somebody we're not. But if you're looking at who we are as a team over the last 5 games, last 10 games, we don't have enough outside shooting to get past anybody in the tournament.
Now that also goes to the heart of how you find a way to beat Missouri, right? Now, you'd have to beat a team like Missouri to go deep into the tournament. And you are exactly right about this, Matt. The lack of the ability to hit the outside shot on a consistent basis. And if Z is your best outside shooter, and he's coming off an 0 for 9, and I'd like to say that's the anomaly. There won't be any 0-4s just like that. But that also speaks to the inconsistency, and it's been more – we're talking about lack of consistency, more consistent bad outside shooting. And – been able to finish at the rim a little bit better of late, but no, I agree with you completely. It isn't a team that is built to get right now to the 80s on a consistent basis, and you have to get there. You have to be able to outscore opponents that are good at putting the ball through the hoop. And I feel good about the way they defended yesterday, Matt, but it doesn't make me feel that they've got enough to outscore opponents like Mizzou that can put balls into the hoop, even against a team that can play better defense.
Well, the book's out, and to what you're saying, watching that game last night, Big Z needs a plan B. You got to have something else to go to. Janelle Davis did his plan B. I loved it. It was my favorite game that he played as a Razorback. He took the ball to the hoop, no turnovers, was able to distribute it, played the best defense. You know, like you love it. 0 for 2 from the 3, but quit shooting. And it's like Big Z, quit, go pump fake, do something else. Like get to the free throw line, because both of those guys are elite free throw shooters. So get to be aggressive and get to the free throw line. And it's like watching a quarterback after they play 4 games. These defensive coordinators understand what you like to do. These coaches are so elite in the SEC. They understand what they're going to do is we got to take this away and we're going to make them uncomfortable. And that's what they did to Big Z, and he didn't have a plan B.
877-377-6963 if you want to hit on anything with yesterday's basketball game or how you feel about the team moving forward. Chris says he really likes Cal. He's excited about the guys coming in next year. And, a team that wasn't put together until April last year and couldn't practice because of the injuries and all of that. And, the injuries and stuff, I still can't put it on that for right now, because if Adu was hurt when he signed at Arkansas, and that happened in the summer, and Nelly had the wrist injury, whenever that was, if it was September or October, I feel like you're at a point here where you should be able to at least be past that. And yes, and I think you're also correct, Chris, about the idea that it isn't that they came together in April. It's that you didn't have a full team together to be able to scrimmage against each other or really know who was who or what was what until you'd already played like 9 or 10 games. And the injuries were a reason why at that point. I think Cal warned us about it. Maybe we're seeing the results of kind of starting behind all the other teams in the SEC in terms of health and
you know what Auburn started?
Cohesive.
Auburn started 4 seniors and 1 graduate senior. That's their.
Well, it's not a team that was built through the portal.
That's what I mean. Like that's kind of how you look at Tennessee, look at Alabama, look at the teams that are at the top that we think are really good. They're older veteran teams, so you got to go get a freshman that can go, or an elite athlete like a Stephen Castle that UConn had last year. But you have to have some guys that have been through a college offseason a couple times. And as good as Boogie is, when he played Illinois, they just big-bodied him up. He's still a baby. You got to have a couple college offseasons.
And that was something you brought up yesterday with Daryl Hawkins about the importance. I mean, how many college off seasons did he go through?
He would have went through 4, right?
Yeah, and improved every year. He had 1 year where he had an injury and only played in 4 games, but you're right. And so just for a moment, because I know we're talking more about this season than the future, but what about a college off season for Knox, Richmond, and Boogie? I know Boogie right now, I'm seeing projections at the 2nd round. If that's the case, I'd like to see him come back to Arkansas.
You got to. If you're not a first-round pick, the money's too good, you come back. The thing that worries me is if I'm Tennessee, if I'm Florida, if I'm Georgia, if I'm offering Carter Knox $2 million. Like, can you keep him here? So what part of the pie do we have? How many $1 million players do you have? Well, Billy Richmond's going to get $1 million. Carter Knox is going to get $1 million. So where are you going to divvy this up and be able to keep certain guys here? I hope they can.
Looking for a side-by-side motorcycle, ATV, zero-turn mower? You got no other place to look than your local Wood Power Sports store. They've got locations in Harrison, Springdale, and Fayetteville. Thinking of any of the brands, they've got them. Hustler, Suzuki, Yamaha, Kawasaki, just to name a few. Their locations also provide outstanding service and parts capabilities and deliveries at Wood Power Sports. They look forward to earning your business. They're a solid name that you can trust. Now stay with us. More halftime in just a moment.
Matt Jones, sir, a player that I refer to that provided Hog Delight. You're a great ambassador for our program.
This is halftime.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Eat Lux your way with the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. The $5 Classic box is iconic all over. The $7 Supreme box has your decadent favorites and then some. The $9 Discovery box introduces you to your newest obsession, like cheesy dipping burritos. Introducing the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
Thanks for
in Northwest Arkansas. Ready to get the best? Then go to ozarksgo.net and sign up now. Don't wait any longer. Faster speeds, better connections, and more reliability. Visit ozarksgo.net today.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. And you've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Angels fly, go to a lake of fire and fry. See him again, till 4th of July. I'm a lady who came from Blue, hit by a dog with a rabbit tooth. She went to a grave just a little too soon. Flew away down the yellow moon. Fly, go to a lake of fire and fry. Steve McGann till the 4th of July.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Here's some tough news to read coming out. It's just before the show started, it looks like. Bobby Portis has been suspended by the NBA for 25 games, violating the league's anti-drug policy. That was announced 33 minutes ago. Portis' agent coming out and stating that Bobby unintentionally took a pain medication called Tramadol, thinking he was taking a pain medication called Toradol. Toradol is approved, and Tramadol is not. So apparently was given to him by an assistant of Bobby's, with a valid prescription for the painkiller. And then this assistant told Bobby that it was Toradol, so he took it thinking it was the stuff he can take, and it turns out he can't. So he's not going to appeal the suspension either. 25 games. Bobby is now suspended. That's tough. That's tough because, you know, when they don't give you any graciousness for taking something that you didn't mean to take, because that ends up being the kind of explanation that a lot of folks have come out with. But there'd be no reason to lie about it necessarily. You just take the medicine and sit for 25 and make sure you know exactly what it is that you're taking the next time. And I hate it for Bobby, Matt.
You know, the Bucks are sitting around 5th. They're 29-24 in the East. Bobby's he's a big time player. I think Bobby would be having consideration for Sixth Man of the Year. Phil, there's 46 games played. He's only started 7, and he's averaging 13-8 as a sixth man right there. So he was. I do think there would be consideration for. I like Bobby, man. He's kind of. He's done pretty much what I think. I mean, he's almost a walking double-double as being the sixth guy, somebody you can bring off the bench, and he doesn't lack intensity. He doesn't lack effort. You know what he's getting, man. Bobby would be somebody I'd want on my team.
But he's also somebody that has always come across to me as a rule follower that would not intentionally ingest something that he's not allowed to. It's just, I think you find yourself in a pretty delicate situation sometimes in today's day and age of being a professional athlete, and it's probably been like this for the last 35 years or so. Just remember, Barry Bonds said he didn't know what the trainer gave him, and he rubbed into his knee and dropped onto his tongue, and people are like, well, of course you knew what it was. But you end up having the final decision as to what it is you put in your body, and even those who you trust, I guess they have to make sure that that everything's labeled properly, because a mistake like this, you'd like there to be some forgiveness, but there can't be. These are things that are signed off on by players' union in the agreement with the ownerships, and good for him for just taking it, because if you fight this, it doesn't feel like it's a fight you'd be able to win.
Well, he'll be back for the playoffs. I mean, it'd take him a little bit to get back into game shape. 25 games. I mean, that's got to be over 2 months. They're not playing back to back, so that's over 60 days. Does that mean can he go into the gym and get work in with the team? Does he have to stay away from the facilities? Is he still being able to watch film? Is he still part of? What's all that mean? But the Bucks are going to make the playoffs, and he'll be there. I don't really have a whole lot of faith in the Bucks this year. But when you have Giannis and Dame Lillard, man, you can beat anybody. But I'd take the Cavs and the Celtics over the Bucks right now for sure. Probably even the Knicks.
Doesn't feel like this suspension should be anything that stains a legacy or anything like that. That's usually the kind of thing like the players suspended in the 80s in baseball for cocaine, PEDs. This is not what this is. And any kind of suspension when it comes to violating a drug policy for a league, that's the first thing people turn to, Matt. It's like, well, he must be taking something that's banned, like a steroid, or he must be, ingesting some kind of an illegal drug, and that's not the case here at all. Man, I mean, you could see there's no reason to bring names out and whatnot, but when I worked in pro baseball, that was when the rules were starting to change and people were paying attention to what vials and needles may be in whomever's locker room. And I mean, we had in the Texas League, El Paso was in the Texas League. That's right there on the border. Juarez is across the border. You can walk across the border, maybe not now, but you used to be able to then and walk over to the pharmacias or the dental offices, and you could get something that you didn't even need a prescription for, that as soon as you bring it back into your ballpark, it's illegal. Nobody had any idea about this. So a whole different situation. This is pain medication. It is. You can imagine what it's like to be a professional athlete, and by this time of the season, all the banging and the beating that Bobby's taken, I can imagine you could need a very strong painkiller by this point.
Bobby P. I'm trying to think, who would this Arkansas team need on this roster to really make them a tournament team? And obviously,
he'd be great. He'd be fantastic, wouldn't he? He'd be great on any team.
Defense. He has that mid-range jump shot. Yeah, man, you put him and Carter Knox, that's your 5 and 4 right there. I think that would, that would be. And then if you could have Gadford coming in off the bench right there, woo, they'd be a team then.
That would be pretty good. You know, this is the makings, I think, of a good team. I also don't think that there are enough bodies designed to get minutes. Otherwise, by now, I mean, would you be playing Trevin Brazile? Would you play him?
He's lost. He doesn't know what he's doing out there on the court. That's the thing. I can't play him anymore. It's whatever he's doing this was the most lost I've seen him look in a game this year, where he's out there and not really just kind of looking around like, what am I supposed? It's like, no, sorry, then you got to come over here and sit by me.
Yeah. I mean, you basically right now have 6 players because Adu has been a 0. I mean, look, yesterday he was a flat-out 0. 4 fouls, 9 minutes, no defense, no points. He's been closer to a 0 than he's been to a 1 in most games. And right now that's what Brazile is too. So you're down to 6 players. If you had anybody else on the bench that could play, those 2 would not play. This is not a team that's made of 8 players at the very moment. Now, who knows? Maybe if a switch gets flipped. But usually switches don't get flipped in late February into March. Right now, to me, it is, you are what you are. They could use extra players. This is a team that did need 9 or 10, just in case. Like, the thing is, though, Matt, wouldn't you have expected that Adu would have been a given for you this year, based on what he did the last 2 seasons? Brazile, maybe not a given, but it's unfortunate for Trevin because he's the one returner. But his career at Arkansas ends up going down as a could have been with all that talent and the injuries that occurred to him. But this year, I don't think it's about injuries. His career turns into a could have been and wasn't.
Yeah, you got to get in the gym. You got to work on your craft and work your trade and study film and try to get better. And you're seeing that. You made a good point, and I think in the first segment about Billy Richmond and Carter Knox, their growth from day one to now, and you can see it going on, and then you don't see it out of a couple other players, and I really I mean, I want the team to win every game, but you're looking at it, and then I hear what people tell me about certain guys. Man, I was impressed with Nelly. I thought it was his best game, and I've been hard on Nelly. But it showed that his maturity, it showed his awareness. Hey, I'm not just going to sit out here and shoot 8 3-pointers. I'm going to try to do other things. And he doesn't lack confidence on the defensive end as well.
877-377-6963 to get with us here on halftime. If it is the going thought here, Matt, is you need 3 wins. 3 wins to make the tournament. If those wins come against Texas, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt, will that be enough? Chances are it probably will be enough. South Carolina, that's just an absolute must-have to win. A loss to Vanderbilt. Vandy struggling badly right now. That, to me, turns into a must-win. Mississippi State, here's the thing. You're going to have to beat a team coming up soon that is winning some games at the moment. Texas coming off a win against Kentucky. They play South Carolina in Columbia before they visit Fayetteville. So theoretically, they should come in with 2 consecutive wins. Mizzou, That's a team that's shooting the lights out right now. Mississippi State defending like nobody's business. So it's like if you're winning 3 games, this is no given that you can win 3 games.
Last year, wasn't it weird on the last day of the season? Like, didn't Kentucky go to Tennessee and beat them by 20 because the seeding was already set? So, like, last year, the last day was kind of weird. Mississippi State forced 17 turnovers by A&M. So they're a system team, that's for sure. Can you win your home games? I think if you win your home games and beat South Carolina 100%, I think you're in.
But the home games, it's like this Mizzou game coming up soon. What did they do? Score 59 points in the first half against Alabama and finish with 110.
That's getting it done, man. 110 points conference, but it's a Wednesday night. You saw this was with Auburn. They kind of came out flat. It's one of those hard games to kind of check in. Certain people aren't really checked into this game for whatever reason. I think of it as their kids. They have finals. They have tests. Maybe they broke up with their girlfriend. Maybe something's not. They're not actually professional athletes yet where they're going in and they have their routine. There's still other things on their mind.
Matt, that's such an interesting, I think not a valid point. I think that's an incredibly important point to drive home of today's day and age of college sports. And it doesn't always work when you sign free agents in professional sports, somebody that was that was productive in whatever sport for 4 or 5 years. That doesn't always mean that the next 3 years or however long you sign them with a contract that they're going to be productive. But you have much more of a track record. They have much more of a history of knowing how to get out of slumps, knowing how to come back after bad performances. You're talking in college, even if it's a quote-unquote veteran of 3 or 4 years, that's still just 3 or 4 years of doing it at that high level. There's nothing quite like pro sports. I mean, you're talking about the high level of doing it and being paid to do it, and it's a different attitude, and it's a different mindset. There's never going to be a guarantee that just because somebody who is 20 or 21 years old and shot the lights out somewhere at a lower level or even in your league, that it's going to happen the very same time that they come to your team. We ask for consistency from late teenagers and early 20-somethings. I didn't have any consistency except for being a moron at that age. So, you get much more consistency and know who you are as a person, as an athlete, as a teammate, as a coworker, as you get older. That's why the whole free agency idea and the idea that they're working under contracts, we're doing this free agency thing every single year potentially in college sports. You are never going to have any kind of consistency. So I hope we end up doing 2-year contracts or something like that for the scholarships or for the NIL or for the direct payment or something. 877-377-6963 if you want to hit on that. Matt, I think that's an incredible important point to drive home. Very important. So stay with us. We'll wrap up the first hour here on Halftime in just a moment.
Have fun storming the castle.
This is Halftime. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. You've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hey everyone, Braden Webb here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. You may remember me from my days playing baseball for the Hogs. Now I'm hitting home runs for AAA Business Systems and enhancing the ways company do business in our area. If you want to partner with the best office technology provider in Northwest Arkansas, call me today at 479-442-4185. Let's win together and remember, anything else is just a copy.
Looking to upgrade your boat? Now's the time with Honda Marine Buyer's Choice Sales Event. Choose up to $2,000 in instant savings or a 36-month Honda Care Protection Plan. That's extra coverage worth up to $44.60 included at no extra cost. This offer applies to all new 40 to 350 horsepower Honda Marine outboards now through March 31st, 2025. Don't miss this limited time deal at Heartland Honda Power Sports Marine in Springdale. Save big or get extra peace of mind. The choice is yours. Visit Heartland Honda Power Sports Marine today. Exit 72 from I-49 just north of Cracker Barrel.
Old man winter is here, bringing cold, nasty weather. And Jelco Outdoors has all the gear to keep you warm and dry. Insulated coats, jackets, overalls, coveralls, thermal socks, and gloves. For kids, up to men's 4X. Jelco Outdoors has the largest selection of winter boots in the River Valley to keep your feet warm and dry. Need a portable heater? Jelco has plenty of Mr. Heater portable propane heaters and accessories. Come see us at Jelco Outdoors. Stay safe and stay warm this winter. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, your cold weather store.
A new era of chicken is here to stay, and it's not your parents' poultry. The Cantina Chicken menu from Taco Bell is slow roasted and perfectly seasoned. Take it tacoed up in a crispy white corn tortilla with cheese inside and out, or wrapped in a burrito with fresh purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. However you like it, you'll never chicken the same way again. Get yours today at your nearest Taco Bell and join rewards to earn free food. Available at participating stores. Rewards points are earned on qualifying purchases. All items while supplies last. Subject to terms.
Looking for a healthcare provider that truly listens to you? At Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, their team of nurse practitioners offer personalized healthcare with their in-house labs. Get fast results. Elite Wellness goes beyond just treating symptoms. Their holistic approach addresses the root causes of your well-being. Whether it's preventative care, illness, or exploring natural treatments, your health journey begins with Elite Wellness and Aesthetics. Call 479-242-9355 for your appointment or visit FortSmithElite.com. Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, getting to know you inside and out.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
What else should I be? Apologies. What else could I say? What else could I write? What else should I be?
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Okay, today Kurt Cobain would have been 58. I can't even picture what Kurt Cobain would have looked like at 58. He made it to 34 or 27, pardon me, and that was it. That's why we've been playing all the Nirvana songs in the first hour of the show.
Yeah, just the first hour. We'll do a little 3-4 for to little. It's not the best song or the best band in the world. It's just a tribute.
Well, I still hearing him sing that hits pretty hard. And hey, like my daughter still had, just like all the teenage kids now, have the Nirvana sweatshirt and T-shirt. They have no appreciation of what it was like when Nirvana hit and hit as big as they did. So nice to have a little something to go back to there, man. Nice stuff.
Your boy Sir Charles. It's his 62nd birthday today. One of the most, 6'5", You know what's when Zion Williamson came out, Phil, that was my comp. It was like, man, that's the new Charles Barkley. And for whatever reason, Zion, he hadn't come to fruition. But, I mean, you forget how athletic Chuck Barkley was his first 8 years in the league.
Well, and durable, too. I think that's the issue for Zion compared to
absolutely
compared to the
Can't
round
make
mound
the
of
club
rebound.
in the tub.
And personality to go along with it. Everybody's favorite NBA announcer, too. Stephon Marbury has a birthday today.
Starberry?
48 years old.
Man, he's a New York legend.
Was the Starberry shoe still a thing? That was
You know
supposed
the
to
and
be
one shoe? Yeah, yeah.
Justin Verlander, a future Hall of Fame pitcher, celebrating a birthday. He is 43 and will be pitching for, I think, is it the Giants this year that he signed with? I forget what team that he signed with, but it's somebody. And Livan Hernandez. Oh, man, I used to like watching Livan Hernandez pitch. Might have had the biggest gut of his time for any pitcher and could hit, too. And you remember when the Marlins won the 98 World Series, and Livan Hernandez, who's from Cuba, grabs the microphone. I don't remember if it was the night that they won Game 7 or if it was at their ensuing parade, but he grabs the mic, and I don't know how much English he could speak, but he goes, "I love you, Miami. I love you." That's always just stuck with me. Of course, his brother was El Duque. So you got a lot of good birthdays today. Brian McCann, former Braves and Astros catcher. Cindy Crawford turning 59 years old today. Andrew Shue, Elizabeth's brother and former Melrose Place star. Rihanna is 37. Olivia Rodrigo, who's a big rage right now, is 22. So it's just kind of the list goes on and on, Matt. Sandy Duncan is 79. I think she was Peter Pan.
I like Trevor Noah a little bit. Chelsea Perotti, both of those comedians. Trevor Noah, a Dirk Nowitzki, 41 today, which I'm in my Dirk stage as well. I'll be 40. I'll be a Jackie Robinson before you know it. But Chelsea Perotti, 47. She's funny sometimes too.
Jamie says when he was in high school, and you and I were in high school at the same time. Then Jamie, you either like Pearl Jam or Nirvana. Not us. We loved
Pumpkins.
them. We loved them both. Yeah, Matt would have been on the Smashing Pumpkins train. Yeah, in my friends, it was perfectly okay to be a Pearl Jam and Nirvana fan and then pick out the little lyrics between the two of them that you felt like they were going at each other, because sometimes it felt like they were.
They had that Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac battle going on. That's right.
Yeah, it's just one of them is still living here. 877-377-6963. We'll get into the third hour of halftime. After the break, we'll be talking with Dudley Dawson in the upcoming hour, and we'll also be talking with Bubba Carpenter at 1:15. It's halftime. It's a Thursday, and we're glad to be with you. Stay with us.
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Looking for a healthcare provider that truly listens to you? At Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, their team of nurse practitioners offer personalized healthcare with their in-house labs. Get fast results. Elite Wellness goes beyond just treating symptoms. Their holistic approach addresses the root causes of your well-being. Whether it's preventative care, illness, or exploring natural treatments, your health journey begins with Elite Wellness and Aesthetics. Call 479-242-9355 for your appointment or visit FortSmithElite.com. Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, getting to know you inside and out.
Happy New Year from Sharp Equipment. Come on over to the new Sharp Equipment today and explore what all Sharp has to offer. From our latest offers and deals as a Wacker-Neuson dealer to customized hydraulic and industrial hoses, equipment repairs, and as a Cinnabogan authorized service provider, we're able to offer even more. Stop in to check out the new location at 5608 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-649-0500 to see how at Sharp Equipment we help you move more than just the world. We help you move forward. Sharp Equipment, your Wacker-Neuson dealer.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Bitterly cold temperatures back in place for today. A high in the lower 20s north, upper 20s south. Clear to partly cloudy sky tonight. An overnight low will drop down to near 5 north, low teens south, and highs close to the low to mid 30s on Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. To ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
Dumps it underneath. Golden shot blocked by Brazil.
Oof. Oof.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got to take it here. That's the perspective. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What they for one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
One minute after 12 o'clock, back into halftime. You're listening to ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. I'm Phil Elson with Matt Jones, my partner, and Kristen Johnston producing. Our numbers for calls and texts are 877-377-6963. Hogville's Dudley Dawson in about 15 minutes, so now's the time to get in if you want. Let's go baseball, Matt. Today's the first spring training game of the Major League. This would be the Cactus League season because it's being played between the Cubs and the Dodgers in Arizona. And this will also be the first time that a Major League game uses a ball strike challenge system, which will be implemented, I think it's through 13 of the spring training ballparks. This won't be part of the regular season or the playoffs. They introduced it in the minor leagues over the last 2-3 years. So now seeing if this challenge system works in spring training. So I'll be interested to see, and hopefully it won't slow the game down at all because it basically just, I think they said it added 45 seconds to a minor league game.
Yeah, it's, if that thing gets hit with a foul tip or something, you got another one on standby, like it's something gets hit. I don't know. Are you for it? I always think there's still a way to change the metrics or to cheat or whatever, if you want to with the gizmo, but I don't know. I like the human umpire. I still like the human umpire.
What they're doing is trying to have a compromise which still leans heavily towards the human element. Well, they're only going to allow 2 challenges per game. It can be instituted only by the hitter, the pitcher, or the catcher. Even managers aren't allowed to institute a replay. And then immediately, once whoever requests the review, you tap your head twice. You got to do it immediately. And then they'll put on the video board, the whole replay system is only for ball strikes, is through the Hawkeye technology, the same thing that we use for tennis. And they'll put it up on the scoreboard, and you'll see a mock-up of the strike zone. You'll see the pitch come in, and they'll kind of twist it for you so you can see where it might have crossed the plate, in or out of the strike zone, and they'll go by that. So for Hawkeye, I think there's more than one camera. It's got to be a system of cameras that are together. So I don't think thing will get broken. And just because it can happen twice, and if you win your challenge, you retain it. If you lose your challenge, well, then you're down to one challenge. So I like this system because it doesn't go all the way automatic, and it does give some leeway for some missed calls here and there.
The thing with a tennis court is it's the same metrics. It's the same dimensions.
Yeah.
You mark it off. The thing with a batter's strike zone is each individual batter, the strike zone is supposed to be different. But if you're doing it this way, is the strike zone the same for each batter? Because, if I'm 6'6", my strike zone would be different than yours, Phil. And then do they measure it when I get into my stance? If you can kind of crowd whatever. I wonder how they're doing that strike zone.
The strike zone is based upon when a batter is standing straight up between, I think it's the hollow of your knee and the midpoint between your belt buckle and your armpit, which essentially is why we say about the letters. Let's just say the strike zone is nipple high. And so you're right. It's based upon the batter's height. And the automatic ball strike zone is going to be using 17-inch plate width and 17-inch depth. And then the top and the bottom is 53.5% of the batter's height at the top and 27% of the batter's height at the bottom. So they're also using a specific range of the height of the strike zone to see if this works. If it works, I think they're going to put it in big league games next year. And I don't see anything that makes that it actually won't work. So, again, I like this because it keeps the human element while still giving some leeway to overturning a missed call if you get it right. So we'll see how this thing operates. 877-377-6963. By the way, they won't be using this in college baseball, at least not anytime soon. Charlie's here with us today. Good afternoon, Charlie. Happy Thursday. What's going on?
What's up, guys? Yeah, Phil, you talking about nipples and all kinds of stuff on this show.
It's just top of strike zone, Charlie. That's all. It's just a descriptor for the top of a strike zone.
It's moisture laden.
Yes, that's right. It's a wettish strike zone.
Well, here's the thing. I don't mean to bring this up, though, but last week, Bubba did kind of, talk about something about a shower, and you were like, don't ever tell me when you're doing that or so. That's when the relationship is cool, and you guys, that's when it's perfect, and that's why you guys have great chemistry when y'all are calling the game. It's perfect. And
I was just thankful, Charlie,
anyway,
that he didn't answer the phone call that I called him while he was in the shower. So I also would like to thank you for always calling us when you're dry.
Yeah, and and don't do like I did this morning, guys. It was not a good idea to go outside and get in the hot tub in this weather. I didn't last very long out there. Came in pretty quick. It doesn't matter how hot that water is. I'm just telling y'all, it's not a good idea to do that today, even with the sun out. Not a good idea. But I wanted to, it's a horrible idea. I wanted to comment on the game last night, and I think, Phil, you talk about this a lot, but this team, it just finds ways to lose games at this point, right? And that they have a chance to win. And listen, when you think about it and you go on the road and you play the number one team in the country and you're right there with them and you count all the little things that they did wrong, the free throws. DJ Wagner, I love the kid, but that play where somebody turned the ball over and he may be a step in front of him. I don't know if you guys remember the play I'm talking about. He does not hustle back. We just give up 2 points right there. Yeah. And he doesn't hustle back or even foul him, do something. Run back. I'm not knocking the kid. He's a good player. He's continuing to get better. And then Big Z, look, man, I'm not mad about him missing shots last night. I was more mad about him missing the rebound and then the play where he blocked the shot and thought it was a good idea to stand over the guy and taunt him. These type of things you cannot do when your margin of error for victory is just it's for Auburn, they can make a few of those mistakes at home because they're at home and they're a better team than you. When you're in Arkansas situation, you cannot make these kind of mistakes and expect to win. And that's the crazy thing is they're right there. And it's frustrating when I'm watching this as a fan. But, you know, I think of South Carolina LSU too. They don't just go into every game and get their butts kicked. I'm not saying we're as bad as them. But it's just frustrating because it seems like we can't get out of our own way at times too with certain things. It's not a lack of talent. And that's what's frustrating about it too. It may be a lack of experience, though, and Calipari did talk about that at the end of the game, whereas we're talking about, you know, all these teams that are just much older than us and things that they don't do, and then you got roster turnover, and these guys come back and they play again for you. I mean, what is it? Is Broom a junior or a senior? And how old is he?
I thought this was it for him. But
yeah.
Charlie, it's
So
like
he's been
this
there.
is this. You say it's not a matter of a lack of talent. You're right. It isn't a matter of a lack of talent. What it is, it's a lack of production from talented players in a lot of games. You know, is Trevin Brazile not talented? Trevin Brazile is incredibly talented. Same with Jonas Adu, but they're just not producing. It's the same with Nelly Davis. I think he's a talented player, but the production has been hit or miss. You know, and so maybe what the idea also is too is it's not a lack of talent, it's a lack of production, and it's a lack of combined production. When it comes down to it, that's why I also feel Arkansas is not a team that's built to win a game in the 80s. That's why I thought yesterday you get a shot, you defend well enough to keep Auburn to 67. But it's an offensively challenged team overall. And Charlie hung up in the middle of that. But that's, you know, I mean, you're watching. It's not a surprise either. It is a talented team, Matt. It's just not a team that's producing all at once. You know, they're not all in the same gear.
Gotta. I mean, it's like we've said all the words that you can say. We don't have any we don't have any shooters, man. Like you look at Auburn, and I know they didn't have anybody make more than one 3-pointer, but they have shooters all on the floor, and you just, it's almost like it's contagious. You know, when if somebody will pick it up and start doing well, maybe some other people will get in line and follow suit.
I want to tell you about Crabtree RV Center, celebrating their 75th year in business. They've been a family-owned business since 1950. Crabtree RV Center presents right now the Greater River Valley Show, extending their sale with the lowest prices on all units and financing available too. You'll find top brands such as Coachman and Grand Design at Crabtree RV Center's Greater River Valley Show, extending their sale and savings for you and your family. Crabtree RV Center, you can find them at the junction of I-40 and I-49, right beside the Cracker Barrel, and online at crabtreerv.com. Hogville's Dudley Dawson stops by. We'll get in a little bit of the basketball game last night, preview Arkansas baseball at Globe Life Field in just a moment here on Halftime.
She's a peacock. You got to let her fly, man. Or your girl, Fat Amy in Pitch Perfect. It's like she's a free-range pony. You got to let her go, man. Let her.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacale, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Eat Lux your way with the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. The $5 Classic box is iconic all over. The $7 Supreme box has your decadent favorites and then some. The $9 Discovery box introduces you to your newest obsession, like cheesy dipping burritos. Introducing the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
Thanks for everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Family, that's what sets us apart. Crabtree RV Center, founded in 1950 by E.J. and Aline Crabtree, family owned and operated, serving Arkansas for 74 years.
I've been working full-time here at Crabtree RV since 1996 after graduating from the University of Arkansas, where I'm proud to carry on my grandparents' legacy.
I know if Mom and Dad could see Crabtree RVs today, they would be so proud.
Crabtree RV Center in Alma, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Morning, brighter windows open, letting what's so terrifying. Murder's faded eyes, alone 6 days fall. Moon so bright, I got to just call. Regret the words I've written, oh, the ones I ever said.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Thursday afternoon, Hogville's Dudley Dawson with us here on Halftime. Dudley, always good to hear from you. What you got going on today?
Oh, not much. Watching the ladies Razorback softball team 1-0 in Rutgers in a sunny Cathedral City, California, where they're wearing short sleeves and shorts. So,
Dudley, what'd you make of the game last night? The effort was there, and then when we're thinking about next year's team and we're going to try to compete, what kind of piece are we? Are we missing? Are we just a piece away? Because you hear Coach Z say we're close. You know, are we a piece away? Or are we a little farther than one piece away?
You know, if I knew who all was going to stick around, you know, maybe I could answer that question a little bit better in today's transitionary, you know, college landscape. You don't know who's going to stay, who's going to go. If you did get back to people that you know could, I think you're still going to have a low post presence. I think that's a big thing that they need to have. Also, I mean, I know people probably get tired of me talking about Joseph Pinion, but he keeps hitting outside shots for Arkansas State, and that's just you know, something that's missing on this team. I think for the most part, your two guys that you thought were going to carry you, at least be your better players, and John L. Davis and Jonas, they do just, you know, have not lived up to the hype or lived up to what they've done at other places. And last night, again, a good effort, you know, but man, they find ways to lose ball games at the end instead of win them, except for that road trip to Kentucky and Texas.
What can you put on that on? Is it not enough players? Is it just, you know, that's what this team is? Is it a chemistry thing? I mean, I remembered mentioning it yesterday. You know, just because of the minutes that guys who are playing well have to play, maybe it shouldn't be a surprise that they fade against deeper, better teams late in the second half.
Yeah, and you know, it may sound like a broken record, but you know, I thought that this team, and certainly Coach Cal has done a great job coaching in his career. He's a Hall of Famer. He knows more about basketball or gotten more about basketball than I know probably. But I do think the construction of this team didn't end up the way that they wanted. If you'd gotten Liam McNeely, I think I've mentioned him before from UConn, some of those other guys that would have rounded out this team better. I do think that, you know, whether they're a piece away, a couple of pieces away, it just didn't work out for whatever reason. And what a bad year to not be as good as you could be in the SEC, because you know, if they could get to 7 or 8 wins, you know, they'd get in the tournament. And you know, but they're not gonna look. I don't think they're gonna look back at Auburn. I don't think they're gonna look back at you know, some of the near misses. I think they're gonna look back at losing to Oklahoma and losing to LSU down there. That's going to be the ones that keep them out of the tournament.
Yeah, you might be right. Let's look forward now to these 5 games. You get Missouri and Texas at home. What does Missouri? What is kind of their strengths? What's Missouri identity? What are we going to have to do to beat this Missouri team on February 22nd?
Missouri can absolutely put the ball in the basket. I mean, what they score 108 last night against Alabama in a game that I had on a different TV. They were just going up and down. I mean, what a job by Dennis Gates, from 0-19 when you count the SEC tournament loss they had, to being playing as good as anybody right now in the league. And you know, I know that the Alabama, Auburn, and Tennessee and others have played really well, but you know, Missouri has just kind of flown under the radar a little bit and has been a tremendous club this year. That's certainly not going to be an easy game Saturday for Arkansas, but it does offer you the opportunity, if you do beat them, to put that notch on your resume. You know, that's
the seven get us in, you think, or do you think if you beat a team like Missouri, 6 could get you in?
I don't know about 6, man.
Yeah, I think 7.
Yeah, and I think 7's iffy, but you know, all these so-called experts seem to think it is because of the strength of the league. And if you get to 7, you will have gotten 3 really good wins, I think.
Is this like baseball, where you get a team? Just think of the 2022 baseball team struggling at the end of the regular season. We go on the road as a 2 seed, and then smack the ball all over the ballpark against Oklahoma State. Finished 3rd in the country in the College World Series. Not a lot of folks saw that coming, but when you play in the SEC, you know, if you're competitive, you could probably beat anybody in the country. Is that what basketball is right now? If you find a way to get into the tournament, if you're struggling in this league, well, you're good enough to make a run?
I think so. We could go down the list, at least the top half for sure, of the SEC. In any of those 8 teams, it wouldn't made a run to the Elite Eight, maybe a little farther. From just what is it they always say, iron sharpens iron. That's got to be the case this year. You will have seen everything you can in terms of style of play, in terms of competitiveness in the regular season before going into the tournament. You're not going to be surprised, and it's just going to be, you're going to put the ball in the basket and you're going to play defense for any SEC team or anybody else. There's no absolutely great basketball team out there. I know the experts want to toss out Duke, but I've seen Duke not play as well as they need to at times, and the ACC is really down.
Hey, Dudley, I know you're an NBA fan. I am too, and it's starting to heat up a little bit. Your boy, my boy, loves some Bobby Portis. He's going to be on the shelf for a few games. I kind of want to get your thoughts on that. And then also, what's the difference between load management and everything? The Spurs are shutting down Wemby for the season, and I think that if they were in it, they would still play him, but they're shutting him down trying to get a better draft pick as well.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on too, and I know it's probably a valid thing, but it's one of those things that you would play through if you had a chance to win it all, and you were in position to do that. He's a great player, and he's going to be a transitional one, throughout the rest of his career. But yeah, that does look a little.
There's no way they get Cooper Flagg, huh?
Yeah, no,
that would be wild.
You have to go a ways. Washington really has that set up, and I mean, I know you can get in the lottery and all that, but you might be able to get 2 or 3 though.
I don't know. This seemed to work for the Spurs one time. I remember, what was that, 30 years ago? How many ping pong balls did they have in there when they landed Tim Duncan? This is
like
worked
a
before.
1.9% chance or something. Yeah.
I mean, I remember the first time I saw Tim Duncan, he was in the 10th grade at the Nike All-American Camp in Indianapolis. I thought, that guy's going to be pretty good. And he turned out to be.
You weren't at a swimming camp? Because he was a
Fiji,
really good swimmer, too.
Swimmer for Fiji, but he played 3 years of college ball. People don't do that anymore.
Yeah, it was 4. Yeah. He played 4 years at Wake.
Play all 4? I knew he played 3.
That was a big deal when he didn't come out as a junior. I still remember that. Yeah, so it's worked for the Spurs before. What's to say that it doesn't now? Dudley brought up in the last segment, first spring training game today, Cubs-Dodgers, which means automatic ball strike challenge system. What do you think of the challenge system? And do you find this to be a slippery slope that we're at some point going to go to a full automatic system, or do you think they stick with the challenge?
Oh, I think it's headed that way, and it, as you said, it's a slippery slope, and I'm a little tentative about it, but I'm gonna do it this. I thought the whole speeding the game up was kind of silly, and now I love it, everything that's involved in it. So I'm going to just kind of sit here and watch it play. And the new little puppy will have the Dodgers and the Cubs on this afternoon. I just can't get enough baseball, softball, and all that. So but I can't, we're going to take the element of arguing out, or because it's not going to be the umpire making the call down the line. It's going to be some.
Yeah, pretty soon we're going to need members of the media to get thrown out of games and get into arguments with umpires, because it ain't going to be the managers or head coaches anymore, and that's just too bad.
It certainly has happened in Little League and stuff.
Yes, it has. It's usually the parents. It is usually the parents, though. Hey, we got the special ceremony at halftime Saturday against Mizzou with the 1990 Final Four team coming in. We've had Todd Day and Daryl Hawkins on our shows yesterday. What did that 1990 Final Four team mean to you and to the fan base overall as Nolan's first Final Four team?
Yeah, a couple of things. It proved that style of play could get you to a place that a lot of the talking heads said it couldn't. His system and getting in there. And I would tell you this: you've got to give the 1994, 1995 teams credit, for winning the national championship and getting back into it. But man for man, that 1990 team may have been the best one that I've covered in 40 years.
They just that juggernaut. What was UNLV? The running Rebs with Larry Johnson and Stacey Augmon. I mean that squad. I know they were deeper, but man, that was what. Isn't that the comment where he said you better get some men if you want to come?
Oh
back?
Yeah, Larry Johnson, February 10th, 1991. It'll always be easy for me to remember because my 3-year-old daughter didn't understand why I was going to cover a basketball game at 10 a.m. in the morning.
Just feels like a one-off kind of a thing, though. You see this in women's basketball, though. Some barnstorming that UConn does. UNLV had to do some of that same stuff to get out of their conference and play in some of the other stronger conferences too, right?
Right. Hey, it's going to be an angry bunch of South Carolina Gamecocks down there tonight, don't you think?
Oh, man. I saw the line, Dudley's like 40.5 points. And Dawn's got a team where nobody's in the top 10 or top 15 of any of the categories, but everybody's scoring at least 5 points or more, and no one's playing more than 23 minutes. She's got such a well-oiled machine here, but it's funny. I had to laugh at this, Dudley. This had to make me laugh. After they lost to UConn, and admittedly they got blown out, it was in their home building. Dawn Staley says after the game, "I feel bad for our fans." And I thought to myself, could you give me just the tiniest little break? Let's be honest about this here. Your fans have nothing to complain about, but,
they deserve the 72nd home win in a row. I mean, they deserve it.
Exactly. I feel bad for our fans. It's the first loss they've watched in person in like 8 years. Give me a break. But you never know what coaches are going to say. Dudley, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you hopping on. Thanks, man.
You bet. Enjoy it.
Dudley Dawson, Hogville, with us each Thursday on Halftime. About an hour from now, we'll talk with Bubba Carpenter from the baseball broadcast. Craving anything sweet and delicious these days? Well, Andy's Frozen Custard has you covered with the greatest frozen treats around. Right now I'm thinking about the Ooey Gooey Concrete. Andy's Frozen Custard blended with Heath Bar, cream caramel, and almonds. Sounds delicious. It's at all their locations in our listening audience. Fort Smith, Rogers Avenue, Conway, East Oak Street, Dave Ward Drive, North Little Rock, JFK Boulevard. Don't forget about the Pick Six. Might be having some friends over for the game on Saturday. Bring home 6 of your favorite flavors. It's the perfect game time treat at all of Andy's Frozen Custard locations. Walk up or drive through, ready to serve you. Stay with Halftime, quick break, and we'll be right back.
I just don't understand why people don't turn their blinker on and just think it's okay to stop in the middle of the road.
This is Halftime.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
The referee looks at his watch, and that's halftime.
This is Halftime.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Join us for the legendary adventure Mystery at the Forest on Saturday, April 26th. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center invites you to share this magical evening of excitement, mystery, and fun. If you are a business or individual looking to sponsor a heartfelt organization or to buy tickets, please visit our Facebook page for more information or call our office at 479-452-2260.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you in the market for a new office printer or multifunction device? Look no further. At Dixie Digital Imaging, we bring a legacy of experience and a rock-solid reputation. Our state-of-the-art solutions are tailored to meet your business needs seamlessly. Why settle for anything less? Call us now at 479-783-6600 to get a quote on your next office printer or multifunction device. Elevate your office efficiency with Dixie Digital Imaging, where experience and reputation meet excellence. That's Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man,
I'm in a slump. My energy took a nosedive out of nowhere, and I just don't have the motivation to get things done.
You're over 40. Could be lower testosterone. Have you tried Nugenix Total T?
Nugenix, the testosterone booster on TV?
That's right. Look, I felt the same plunge in my energy after I turned 40, so I tried out Nugenix to see if it would help me.
Did Nugenix make a difference for you?
Night and day. My stamina is way up now. I'm building lean muscle at the gym. I'm totally back on my game. And you could be too. Just send a text to Nugenix. They'll send you a complimentary bottle so you can try it for yourself.
Text ROCK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321-321. That's ROCK to 321-321. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's some great ideas on my blue ceiling. Hallelujah. Looks like dreaming, but it feels like that, I guess. Do whatever moves you. If you're out in a nightmare, you can go home. Back here, 'cause you can't be alone. On the phone.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hogs are traveling to Arlington right now, the baseball team, I should say. We get so many different Hogs to talk about. Globe Life Field, they'll practice tonight once they get there, and then 7 o'clock first pitch with K-State tomorrow. K-State coming off a loss against North Carolina, 1-4 record. Remember, that's the same. It's a different team than they had last year, but I think they still have some of the same mentality of run, bunt. They've already attempted 9 steals in 5 games. They've been caught 6 of them, so they've run themselves out of some innings. If they get men on base against Gackle on, tomorrow is Friday, I'm anticipating they may try to be pretty aggressive about things. You get great crowds inside this ballpark. The old ballpark, Matt, you ever make it to the previous Rangers Park? What was it called when it first opened? The ballpark at Arlington. It's pretty simple. Then I think it was AmeriQuest. It's been Globe Life Field for a long, long time now. I love the old park, but it just got too hot. We wouldn't be able to play games out there right now if they were hosting college games in the last ballpark. But you get a nice roof and everything, and it's a comfortable place to be. Nice and climate controlled and everything.
Yeah, I've seen a Rangers game years ago. So it would have been 2012. What park were they in? Around 2012 or so.
2012 was the last one. I think they still it's called Choctaw Stadium now. It was Globe Life Field, but it's outdoors. I think they play some UFL football there, some other events. There may be I don't know if there's a bowl game inside it or not. There's too many sporting facilities to try to keep an eye on in that area, aside from Six Flags and everything else. But we still don't know who the last starting pitcher is going to be. That has been, it seems like, a closely held secret for the coaching staff. They have let the opponents know who it is that they're going to be pitching, but they haven't released it publicly. You know, we know Gackle will throw tomorrow, and we know Root throws on Saturday. It seems it's that it is set in stone. It is written in Sharpie. But it's the last game, the Sunday game, that right now is up for grabs between Gage Wood and Landon Beitelcheese. You don't want to. I don't think they're going to be, throwing somebody based upon the team that is on the schedule. They're going to be throwing somebody based upon how that pitcher is pitching. And I don't know the decision they're going to go with here. My guess is that they go with Wood. Gage just has really, really come on. And to me, he seems right now like somebody that can give you the 5 innings or the 6 innings that you may be looking for, even if you push him so far. But I do think that they will both pitch in the same game quite often. I don't know if it creates a situation where you can have a piggyback, which I saw quite a lot in professional baseball, to where you essentially have 2 starting pitchers, and one of them starts and the other one comes in right after him. And if you do it the way that you have it here with Wood and Beitelcheese, then you get a righty starter or a lefty starter, and then the other guy comes out of the pen and he throws from the other side. So if the opponent tries to, get their lineup built for Gage Wood and a right-hander, well, then by the time the 6th inning comes around, you're facing a lefty with the same kind of stuff. So I really do like the idea of both of them pitching on the same day. And they're all, like Beitelcheese can close a game. He did that at Ohio State 2 years ago. Woods closed games at Arkansas. And there's a lot of guys that can pitch a 9th inning or an 8th inning and hand the ball to somebody else for the 9th inning for this team. It isn't just a matter of having a depth of starting pitching, because you got 5 or 6 guys that they can throw in the first inning. But I think there's probably 5 different pitchers they could use to finish a game. Christian Fouch is going to get the first chance. Carson Wiggins, Carson Wiggins looked incredible on Saturday. His first 4 pitches were 99 miles an hour, and he threw a couple of sliders that were so good that they fooled the umpire. It's like, you fool the batter, that's one thing. He legitimately fooled the umpire, who called 2 pitches that were within the strike zone completely, not just on the edge of the strike zone. I mean, in the strike zone, called balls twice. That's just from a pitch from an umpire who I think was fooled, expecting to see a fastball. He got a breaking ball, and Wiggins' stuff is that good that if you fool the umpire, he's going to be fooling hitters left and right. So he's going to get chances to close. I think, potentially someone like a Cole Gibbler later in the season, a lefty with great stuff. He could. Wood, just as I mentioned, Beitelcheese. Will McIntyre's closed some games. So in this next weekend, because there's only the 3 games instead of 4, it'll give you a little bit of an idea of what this will look like moving forward once you get closer to SEC games. You get Charlotte and Portland the next couple of weekends. And I anticipate some good games, but I also think Arkansas is going to have a real chance to get into this weekend and finish with 3 victories. I do think their pitching looks that difficult. But remember, last year Arkansas had a lot of trouble hitting in Arlington. Got a 2-1 loss in, 10 innings against Oklahoma State, just couldn't hit. Arkansas didn't really hit very much on the Sunday against Michigan, and kind of made, I think it was 3 or 4 errors, and played sloppily but still won. Now, it's a different team, so if you saw a team that I think after the first game Friday really hit the ball around against the Cougars, I think they'll get a chance to do the same thing here, because K-State's given up a lot of runs. TCU and Michigan have pitched well, and they've also played some good teams too. I love the crowds we get inside this building. Now, I know for basketball on Saturday, like at Bud Walton, that's got to be, like, the crowd's got to be a thing that spurs the team on. Kind of like it felt for a good chunk of the Alabama game until a good chunk of the crowd got up and left when they were down 21, which, again, like, I understand the idea of what you're doing there. But the crowd is a thing that stands out at these baseball games in Arlington, Matt, because it's like 75 or 80% Razorback fans. Michigan's not traveling with anybody. TCU has a small fan base, and even though their campus is kind of next door to Arlington, they'll be outnumbered by more than 2 or 3 to 1 inside the stadium. And K-State, they've got a smallish kind of a fan base, but those are also 2 fan bases that got a chance to celebrate inside Baum Walker over the last 2 years. And I know Arkansas fans kind of weren't too pleased with not just the outcome on the field, but you see opposing fans celebrating in your own stadium. It'll be an interesting thing to look at too. We've had crowds at Globe Life last year, 13,000 and 16,500. 2 years ago for the 3 games, 16 grand, 20,000, and then even for a Sunday, over 16,000 showed up. And that's legitimate numbers. That's not just a matter of, well, these are the tickets we sold. You buy tickets for these games, you go to those games. It's different than being a season ticket holder and deciding whether or not you're going to show up or whether or not you're going to give your tickets away. That's a legitimate 20,000 that showed up for that game 2 years ago. These are the highest attended games in all of college baseball in the regular season. Once you get to Omaha, then you'll get crowds of near 30,000. But there won't be another crowd of 20,000. I don't know if we'll get that this weekend, but there's a good chance we'll come pretty close to it, and that's going to goose them. So, but that also splits the fan base in some cases, right? You want a lot of people go to the baseball game. They got basketball tickets. We need you at the basketball game tomorrow, Matt. Don't you feel like inside Bud Walton celebrating a seminal Final Four team, having Nolan back in, having Todd Day back there and all the guys, and the fact that it's a huge game with a rival coming in and a rival that's playing really well? You better show up, and the crowd's going to be a reason why, if Arkansas wins, that they did win.
Yeah, man, that 1990 team should be celebrated. I think what Coach Cal is doing, and to hear Mr. Hawkins, who we had on yesterday, talk about, talking with Coach Cal, and it was his idea to get that team. I think you have to embrace the history of your program, that team, man. I think Dudley said it too. I would take that team over this team. I mean, if that Razorback team was in the SEC right now, I would have them winning the league. I mean, that's how good that team was, and how deep that team was, and how physical that team was. And they were grown men compared. They were kind of like Auburn when you think about 4 seniors and a graduate assistant. There was just so many. There was so much depth and so much talent on that team, and so much maturity as well.
So also the idea that it was the first Final Four under Nolan. And they hadn't been to a Final Four since '78, so you're talking 12 years. I had a team that I grew up rooting for in 1990, made their first playoff run in about the same amount of time. That was the Pirates, under with Bonds and Bonilla and Leland and all of that. And to me, that was like, oh my gosh, like, you mean the team that I care about, that I love, can actually get to the playoffs and win a division? It must have felt the same way to Razorback fans of the same age. I'm 48. If you were about 48 in 1990, I can imagine that 1990 Final Four team may be your favorite team, just because it was the first to get to the promised land. Now, national champion's a national champion, but you always remember the first team that you were cognizant of that proved to you that your team can get to that final weekend or the World Series or the Super Bowl or whatnot. And that's what that 1990 team is. I think for a lot of folks that might not have been old enough to enjoy or understand the importance of the 78 Final Four, 1990 Final Four team would have a lot to do with waking you up. You can see it's right there. Some questions coming in on the text line. Let's see, Alan in Prairie Grove asking about televised games. I think it's Flow Sports this weekend. Anytime you got baseball inside Globe Life, or I think inside Houston, it's Flow Sports. So you'll have to, get creative with if you buy your subscription, and then make sure you cancel your subscription at the right time. And I think you got to write it in blood in a contract or whatnot, or just don't worry about watching it and just listen to the radio, because it's free and we don't have to get you to buy a subscription or anything like that. Seth and Rogers says the wood cheese thing. I love this. You can put cheese on wood and cut it. That works. Wood cheese thing will work itself out with another few weeks. Yeah, I mean, it might. But the way these guys are pitching right now, it's going to be really difficult, I think, to shake that rotation up unless somebody has not It's not a matter of one bad outing, because you get in that rotation, one bad outing is not going to be enough to take you out. It's going to be 2 or 3. And then you're switching roles in the middle of the season, which can be okay. But I would anticipate that they'll stick with the rotation they have for a good while until they're proven otherwise. And Denny asked about an opener. I don't think they're going to do an opener, because an opener is just an inning. That's just a relief pitcher that goes out, gives you 1 inning. They're not going to be looking for that from anybody this year. That would include Tuesday or Wednesday games. You're a starting pitcher at Arkansas. I think 5 innings is the baseline. That's where you need to get to no matter what. Go from there after that. How many 7-inning starts will there be? Yeah, good question. I don't know. 5 innings, though, is an expectation. Halftime's brought to you by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, right next to Baum Walker Stadium, with basketball season near the end and softball in full swing, baseball really getting going. You got to make sure you got your outdoor stuff for Bogle and for Baum Walker. They've got it all at the Stadium Shop, everything you need, and they're local, they're family, they're alumni owned and operated. Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt at 479 Stadium, or shop on Razorback.com. Make sure they know at the Stadium Shop that ESPN sent you. Back to wrap up the second hour of halftime in just a couple minutes.
Man, I love y'all, man. I'm telling you, y'all really help me. Y'all get me through the day every day.
This is halftime.
Now, for a limited time, employee pricing is back at the #1 fifth wheel dealer in Arkansas, Wheels RV. That's right, employee pricing is back, and you pay what our employees pay on a huge selection of select new and used RVs, plus some 2025 models included. You'll find all your favorite brands, such as Grand Design, Brinkley, Forest River, Vibe, Novo, and Flagstaff. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV sold. Employee pricing exclusively at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV, located 5 miles west of I-49 in Tawnytown. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing, and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
At Central Hydraulic in Fort Smith, the work doesn't just stop when the temperature drops. We're your go-to service provider. Be sure to prep your machine and stay ahead of the frost and costly damage. Still using summer oil? Winter-friendly oil is the weapon your machine needs. Be sure to get an oil change. Check your hydraulic fluid, fuel prep, and battery check. For all these services needed in the cold weather months, come see Central Hydraulic for all your hydraulic needs at 6104 Highway 271 South. Or call at 479-646-0571. Central Hydraulic, your service provider.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jasco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry.
Favorite hog memory growing up, Cecil?
When we beat OU in the Orange Bowl in 1978, I was living in Allen Grove Projects, and it was a shutout at halftime, and I ran out of the house. I ran from one end of the projects to the other end screaming, "Go Hogs." I'll never forget that. Jasco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jasco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Agent Randy Milam in Alma or Agent Brandon Zimmerman in Barlam.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
What you thinking, what you thinking about? Tell me when you finish, maybe I'll come around. Hadn't have to bring me all the way to the ground. I don't have to tell you what I'm thinking about.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
NFL Combine starting in a week in Indianapolis. 5 Razorbacks will be there. Jaquindon Jackson, Landon Jackson, Eric Gregory, Andrew Armstrong, and Isaac Tesla will be in attendance to the NFL Combine. Who do you think's got a chance here? I mean, we know Landon Jackson's going to get drafted. I would anticipate Andrew Armstrong getting drafted. Jaquindon Jackson, potentially. Gregory, yeah, I think so. Tesla, I'm not too sure, but him going to the Combine does tell me that some folks have their eyes on him.
He's going to get all 5 of those guys are going to get drafted, Phil.
Yeah.
I think all 5. Tesla is going to be an 8. He's not going to be outside the hashes. He's going to be inside. Look at this game. Look at all these tight ends that are making plays or not making. You know, you got to have 2 or 3 of them. That's his position at the next level. I think Tesla's going to have a better pro career than he did college career.
One of those careers where you look back and it's like, well, maybe he might not have been.
We didn't use him enough, man. We didn't throw it to our tight ends at all, though, for whatever reason.
Well, that's true. That's
Jaquindon Jackson. It's kind of what does he time? What does he run? With Gregory, kind of what is his bench press? Where's his strength at? You know, you kind of
does durability have anything to do with Jaquindon?
They're gonna send you go through every single physical and X-ray. You'll go in the machine, like it'll take 3 hours. You're a herd of cattle the whole time, and they poke you, they prod you. That's why I don't get this NIL stuff in college. We're signing players with a broke foot and broke wrist. It's like they would never do that at that level. If they're gonna draft you and pay you this money, they send you through a full physical. I think we need to be a little more diligent about with giving these kids physicals to make sure they're fine before we have them. How are we going to pay you? You come up here on campus, you're here for 6 months, and you can't even practice for the first 3.
The Nelly Davis thing, I think he got hurt after he'd already been on campus. But, Adu, you're exactly right. And think of the Lakers rescinding the trade for Trey Williams because he fails a physical.
That's
right? I mean, it's a bit of the same idea.
Nick Saban maybe doesn't like it too much, but, yeah, he would have had Drew Brees.
We'll get into the third hour of halftime here in just a moment. You can get with us, 877-377-6963. Bubba Carpenter from the baseball broadcast in about 20 minutes. Stay with us. We will be right back.
I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. My favorite sport is hockey. I love the ice, the sliding, and especially the hits. But I don't love those things on our roads. Winter weather is here, so slow down and drive defensively. But if a bad driver gets past your goalie, call me to make a power play against the insurance company. After 13 years of settling car wreck claims, I've got more than a few tricks in my hat. Call 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Stop it.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Michelle Smallman here. Do you want to be at the draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin? Travel Wisconsin is sending 10 lucky fans and a guest to the draft. Experience the thrill of the draft firsthand and make memories that will last a lifetime. Don't wait. Enter Travel Wisconsin's Dream Draft Sweepstakes. Visit travelwisconsin.com/draft to learn how you can win a trip to experience the biggest moment of the offseason. Epic moments that become lifelong memories are waiting to be discovered across Wisconsin. Terms and conditions apply.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Bitterly cold temperatures back in place for today. A high in the lower 20s north, upper 20s south. Clear to partly cloudy sky tonight. An overnight low will drop down to near 5 north, low teens south, and highs close to the low to mid 30s on Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Wagner paints.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that can respect it. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
But they were one Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Turn it.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back. 1 minute after 1 o'clock afternoon on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. This is Phil Elson with my partner Matt Jones. Christian Johnston producing. Our calls and texts come in at 877-377-6963. Bubba Carpenter from the baseball broadcast about 15 minutes from right now. Otherwise, we are wide open for you coming into our last hour of the show today. We got word about Bobby Portis being suspended for 25 games for testing positive for a banned pain medication. The word is that an assistant for Bobby gave him a banned substance called tramadol, and he thought he was taking Toradol. That's what the assistant told him he was taking. Also, the Spurs are shutting down Wemby for the remainder of the season. So some NBA news coming there. Got your first Major League spring training game today. Cubs and Dodgers in Goodyear, I think, is where the Dodgers train. And we got baseball tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday right here on these airwaves. I don't think we'll be able to air baseball Saturday because basketball and baseball start 1 hour after each other. And you got the big basketball game with Mizzou on Saturday, which if you want to make it to the NCAA basketball tournament, well, then beat Missouri on Saturday, because I think that probably goes a longer way in any of the other games that you got remaining to getting you into the field of 68.
Has hockey done a good enough job to get you interested at all in the Canada-USA championship game tonight?
No, not in the least bit. I got nothing against hockey. I got a basketball game with South Carolina tonight, so I won't have the Four Nations championship on.
And I say because there's only so much things you can consume and so much things you can give your time to. It's it's football, basketball, soccer for me, and then other things, if it's music, movie, whatever, and then I know you're into baseball, I mean, that's kind of, and then you kind of pick a couple other things that you dig here and there.
Well, I'm not really interested in the political aspects of USA versus Canada right now, but that's obviously not in the background. That's in the foreground of this championship game. So, yeah, you want to make athletes care about an all-star game? Put country against country, and I think that'll probably do it for you. Hey, look at how the baseball players care when they choose to play in the World Baseball Classic. They play in that tournament like it matters. USA versus the rest of the world for basketball, I think that could help. I don't think there's anything you can do for football because that's a whole other animal. But the way they're doing this in hockey, they have found some kind of a secret sauce. Make it an international sport because it is, and the players are going to care quite a bit. Because in some cases, these guys are also teammates. I don't know who fought the other day, but that's the other thing, too. It's like I grew up in an era where in hockey, fighting was a part of hockey. It's just that's not really what it was you went to see. It was a little bit of the side thing. It's like going to the auto races to watch the car crashes. It's a little bit little dour to view it in that case, but if they're dropping the gloves 3 seconds in, to me that's like I don't go to a hockey game to watch that. I don't know how many fights there were for the remainder of it, but it's like you went to the hockey fights and you went to the hockey match and a boxing fight broke out. That kind of stuff can happen quite a bit. I'm sure there will be booing in the anthem today, and just like there was booing in the anthem the week before. So whatever, if that makes you feel good about it, then fine. I don't like to see the back and the forth between these two countries at the moment anyway. So. But no, it hasn't grabbed my attention. Nothing in hockey has grabbed my attention for a long time because there's only so much time. I will say though, I get back from watching last night's game when the TV was turned off on us in the sports bar with a minute left, and the moment I get home, I'm hit with the news that my favorite and most influential sports broadcaster passed away yesterday at age 76. His name was Mike Lange. He was the longtime broadcaster for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he sounded like this.
Taking over on the play is Robert Lang. He's got a trigger. Here's Kasparaitis. Twisting one. It scores. The Pittsburgh Penguins have won the series in overtime. Darius Kasparaitis. And ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just left the building.
That was one of the phrases that he was well known for. Mike Lange was the Penguins announcer for over 42 years. Get that dog off my lawn, great balls of fire, never teach a pig to sing, how much fried chicken can you eat? She wants to sell my monkey, scratch my back with a hacksaw, get in the bingo game, get in the fast lane grandma, the bingo game is ready to roll. All of those things that they turned into T-shirts and everything, and I mean he was He was the guy that as soon as the game was over, you raced to the car with Dad so that you could listen to every bit of the postgame show to hear what phrases Mike Lang used to call every single goal. And he is. People ask me sometimes, who are the most influential broadcasters that you listen to? He's at the top of the list. Absolutely at the top of the list. I don't call hockey, but what I learned from Mike Lang is be friendly on the air. Catchphrases are okay. Now, I don't have as many catchphrases as he did, but when you hear me say the Razorbacks have the turkey on the table when there's men on base and the opponent does a pitching change, that's straight from Mike Lang when the Penguins were about to go on a power play. And, they tell you not to meet your heroes because you're going to be disappointed. I can confirm that isn't always the truth. I took my first play-by-play job in 1999 with a team in Ogden, Utah. And a month before I moved to Utah, I'm sitting at a sports bar with some friends of mine. It was a Sunday, and the Penguins had just played in Madison Square Garden. Mike Lang shows up in this bar on his way home. He was known for this. He was a man of the people. He was like a Harry Carey. He could go into any bar in the city of Pittsburgh, and he was friends with everybody there. The moment he walked in, the hair on my neck starts to go up. I'm like, holy crap, that's Mike Lang in here. Asked the bartender if he wouldn't mind sending a beer to him on my behalf, because I'm as nervous as anything. I'd never done play-by-play for baseball before. It's a month before I'm moving to do this. I'm scared out of my mind. Here's one of my heroes. He takes the beer. He waves me over. He sits me down next to him. We spent 30 to 45 minutes together. He bought me a beer after that, and he gave me that time the night after he had called a Penguins-Rangers game. And there was another thing that I tried to take from him because he really calmed my nerves. He didn't tell me how to be a play-by-play man. You know what he told me? He said, and it's funny to try to take this advice, he said, you're not going to know what you're doing for about 5 years. Just pay attention, listen to yourself, don't be too hard on yourself, and you'll get a sense of what you're doing. And man, if he wasn't right about that, it took a while before I ever felt comfortable, and I took that advice. Every day I would go back home and think I sucked today, but it's all right. I don't know what I'm doing for 5 years because Mike Lang told me so. He was nice to me. He didn't have to be nice to me. And I took that as something to try to mimic as I go throughout my life. Now, on this show, I'm sarcastic and I'll joke around, and yes, I've hung up on a couple of people here and there when I think they probably deserved it. But when it comes to being off the air, anybody that would come up, I try to be exactly like Mike Lang was to me. And it's the same to any young person who's interested in sports broadcasting. I had that example of this Hall of Famer, a legend who did not have to give me or anybody else the time of day, but was so eager to do so. That was an example to me in my life. And I got a chance to thank him via email right after he retired, and he answered back and he told me to keep smiling like a butcher's dog, which was one of his famous sayings. And I just want to tell you that you can meet your heroes. It's not always going to go the way you hope it does, but if it goes the way like it did when I met Mike Lang, you're going to be proud of who your heroes are. Stay with us. Bubba Carpenter will join us right after the break.
It's up to them how they want this season to be. If they want to turn it around this week, we can. And if you don't, they better be going to class.
This is halftime.
I tell you what, I know this got a lot of guys with some big hearts. For 3 hours or however long, maybe 4 hours, we're the best team in the country today. And it's offense, defense, and special teams. It's some guys like Darren McFadden, baby. Y'all better put him in the Heisman. You better put him up there. I'm tired of him being number 4.
We got that wood right here, baby.
Somebody better look at this guy, the best football player in the country, and his name's not being mentioned. Lou Holtz, Mark May, number 5. You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Checking in with you live here across the border at Sallisaw, Oklahoma at Harry Robinson Sallisaw Ford. It's Colton Little here with ESPN Arkansas at the Pick Your Salesman Showdown event here at Harry Robinson Sallisaw Ford, just off exit 308 off of I-40 in Sallisaw. Guys, the Salesman Showdown is happening now through February 28th at Harry Robinson. You can come in and you can find out that there are over $10,000 in discounts during this sale. They've got matching down payments as well, up to $1,500 on new and the pre-owned units. It's also Ford Truck Month, and that means that matching down payments are here for both new and pre-owned vehicles, including those trucks. You can get the new F-150s up to $9,000 off and a matching down payment of up to $1,500. So if you want a new truck, this is the place to come get it at Harry Robinson Sallisaw Ford at the Pick Your Salesman Showdown event happening now.
Old Man Winter is here, bringing cold, nasty weather. And Jelco Outdoors has all the gear to keep you warm and dry. Insulated coats, jackets, overalls, coveralls, thermal socks, and gloves. For kids, up to men's 4X. Jelco Outdoors has the largest selection of winter boots in the River Valley to keep your feet warm and dry. Need a portable heater? Jelco has plenty of Mr. Heater portable propane heaters and accessories. Come see us at Jelco Outdoors. Stay safe and stay warm this winter. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, your cold weather store.
A new era of chicken is here to stay, and it's not your parents' poultry. The Cantina Chicken menu from Taco Bell is slow roasted and perfectly seasoned. Take it tacoed up in a crispy white corn tortilla with cheese inside and out, or wrapped in a burrito with fresh purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. However you like it, you'll never chicken the same way again. Get yours today at your nearest Taco Bell and join rewards to earn free food. Available at participating stores. Rewards points are earned on qualifying purchases. All items while supplies last. Subject to terms.
Now, for a limited time, employee pricing is back at the #1 fifth wheel dealer in Arkansas, Wheels RV. That's right, employee pricing is back, and you pay what our employees pay on a huge selection of select new and used RVs, plus some 2025 models included. You'll find all your favorite brands, such as Grand Design, Brinkley, Forest River, Vibe, Novo, and Flagstaff. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV sold. Employee pricing exclusively at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV, located 5 miles west of I-49 in Tawnytown. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Want a golf course quality lawn? It's easier and more affordable than you think with True Green. As the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, True Green brings pro-level expertise straight to your yard, so your lawn can look like a fairway. Sign up by March 10th and get one free application. Plus, you'll get True Green's price match guarantee. If you're not satisfied, True Green will revisit your lawn between scheduled visits to make it right. Visit TrueGreen.com today to get a free application. Offer ends March 10th. Restrictions apply.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Well, morning now. I want you to know that I was the one to say you know. Moving around the door. Prince moving around the door. You can wear your pants, but be can no more. But I can see through that. Yes, you told me you want her plans, but I can see through that. No, you ain't no real cool cat. You got all around though. When smooth around though. You ain't no when smooth around though. You got tail, baby, but you no more.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Arkansas baseball's on the way to Arlington, Texas right now. I'm going to be headed there early tomorrow morning. I won't have Bubba with me, however. Bubba Carpenter is on the hotline right now here on Halftime. We'll be talking with him each Thursday during the baseball season. Bubba, what's going on today? What you got?
How we doing, fellas?
Doing all right. Got a women's basketball game tonight at South Carolina. Really looking forward to this weekend in Arlington, and we're still waiting, unless I missed it in the last 10 minutes, to find out who's going to be pitching the starting pitching on Sunday. Here's the thing I know about this: whomever it is that isn't the starting pitcher on Sunday, out of the 4 guys we saw last weekend, well, he'll still have a really important role nonetheless.
Absolutely. And, I was talking to Matt Jones about it this morning, and Vital Cheese would have faced Michigan last year because he was with Ohio State last year. So, it might make sense for Gage Wood to be in that spot. And then if you listen to Dave in his press conference, he kind of hinted. He said, "Well, we'll probably go with the guys that have the most rest." So if that's the case, then that means it's Gackle, Root, and Wood. And Vital Cheese would be the guy in the bullpen. So that's kind of what I'm thinking we're going to do, Phil.
You want to give me an overall impression of what you saw in the 4 games against Washington State? Let's first look at the position players and the hitters. Did anything stand out?
Brent Iredale obviously is kind of the guy that I looked at. I was really impressed with him. You and I talked about it on the air. The 2 home runs, Phil, that, was impressive. 2 good swings. One was a fastball inner third. Actually, it was right on the black, pulled his hands inside, hit it really hard to left center. A lot of big guys will hook that ball foul, but one of the bat that I liked the most was he had a runner at third in game 2 on Friday. We struggled in game 1 to score runs. Game 2 on Friday, runner at third base, 1 out. He had two strikes on him, got a fastball in, and just hit a ground ball to second. You could tell he made a conscious effort to get on top of the ball, hit it to the right side. And that's an unselfish at bat. And people think I'm crazy. Oh, well, he hit 2 home runs. Yeah, he hit 2 home runs. But the fact that he did that shows what kind of player he is. He's an unselfish player. That goes down as a 4-3 in the book. He gets an RBI for it. But, it was just him knowing what it took to get that runner in from third. And as a result, we end up winning, with a big margin that game. But I love that at bat.
Do you have any Australian teammates coming up in the Yankees organization?
Yeah, you know what? I had a right-handed pitcher named Mark Hutton, 6'8", 6'9", something like that. You could probably pull him up. Big right-handed pitcher, threw hard, ended up getting a little bit of big league time. All I remember about him is he threw hard, and he loved Johnny Walker. He trained Johnny Walker.
Well, him and everybody else, right? So it's kind of interesting though, and I haven't gotten to know Iredale yet, but I had some Australian guys on Traveler teams that I had, and every last one of them, they were all terrific teammates. Like everybody on the team loved those guys. I don't know if it's just indicative of where it is they come from, but every Australian ball player that I've been around has been a really great teammate. And Iredale kind of, again, he just seems like he is. I've only talked to him a little bit, but he seems like he may be kind of like that too.
You know what? I loved interviewing him. And it's funny, Phil. Very few times the guys ask me questions. He's at the end of the interview, he's asking me questions. And it usually doesn't happen like that, but he does. He just seems like a great guy and a great team guy. And, you get 9 guys out there playing unselfishly. Those kind of teams win championships. And, boy, that's something I know in the past we've been frustrated. We get a runner at third base, 1 out. We get a pop-up, a ground ball, a strikeout, whatever. We end up not getting that runner in. If we can get more guys with that team mentality, get that runner in from third base, whatever it takes. It may not always be pretty. It doesn't look good on your stat sheet sometimes. But the guys that know baseball, the scouts that know baseball, they see that and they appreciate it. And I know DVH does and the staff.
You can also feel, I think I felt it when I was in the dugout for 2 or 3 of the scrimmages in January, and then they played the same way this last weekend. There's an energy with this team. they make noise. You know, they talk. They're chirpy for each other. And I don't know if they were chirpy at the Cougars this last weekend, but you know, and I don't mean this in a way to bash anybody that was on last year's team, because that's not the case. I was impressed with the way they played. They won 20 SEC games, but they were a little quieter. And sometimes we'd wonder who's the leader on this team. I don't know if we ever really got like an answer about it. And I think this team just seems to make a little bit more noise and maybe have a little bit more life.
I'll tell you, Phil, to that point, Reggie Jackson said something to me a long time ago that stuck, and you've heard me say it before, talking about hitting. You said it's okay to be a nice guy, but don't hit like a nice guy. Don't play baseball like a nice guy. When you step out there on the field, you're not a nice guy anymore. And that's what I see in this team. I see a bunch of really good teammates, a bunch of really nice guys. But, boy, when that game starts, they've got a little meanness to them. And that's what I love about this team. And as far as having noise and life, you know, during a couple of scrimmages, you know, you've had a chance to sit down in the dugout, and I have also. And I love the camaraderie between the team, the teammates. And it's just it really does feel different. And last year's team had some really nice guys, but I felt like at times they played nice. And you got to have some toughness to you when you're playing a game of baseball, especially when you're playing in the best conference in the world, the SEC. And so I think it's going to be a fun season, and I'm really excited about this group of guys.
What do you think's going to happen at the top of the batting order, which correlates also to the very bottom of the batting order? Dave's kind of openly spoke about really liking how Thomas has approached his plate appearances. He got on base a ton in the Washington State series, and it's not that Davalon is not. It's just there's something about Thomas, and I think he could be a real spark plug. But you know, Dave likes that kind of batter in the 9-hole, so I kind of wonder what he's going to do as far as the top and the bottom of the batting order, and also I think we got into this a little bit on the broadcast, those intricacies of playing center field and left field. You can tell Davalon's still learning center and Thomas is still learning left.
I think so. If I think the one thing over the weekend that was, you know, that was a little troubling was the outfield play. And I know it's going to get better. And look, Baum Walker's a tough place to play. We see teams come in here and struggle all the time, Phil. You get that wind blowing from right field across the left, it's a hard place. When a lefty hits a ball, it does some crazy things out there in left center. When a righty hits a ball towards right center, it does some crazy things. So you got to know that as a center fielder. And I think Davalon's still learning that, and I think Justin Thomas is as well. But, you know, if Davalon can't get it done in center, we have a guy over there in left field that can do a job. We can just flip-flop those two. Same with the batting order. You know, Davalon's the guy that's got a little thump in his bat. He could hit in the middle of the lineup, be an RBI guy, or he could hit 9-hole and let Justin Thomas lead off. I mean, Dave's got a lot of options with his team, and it's fun. You know, we talk about the depth of the pitching staff, but, man, the depth of this roster. And you got guys like Kuhio Loy coming off the bench, you know, bringing some thunder in that bat. Hit a couple balls really far this weekend. There's just a lot of different options. And you know what I like is, I don't know if you remember him saying it about Cam Kozel possibly catching. And I think he's serious about that. You know, having a left-handed batter as a catcher. When I came in, Jimmy Kramers was a really good catcher. Ended up playing in the big leagues with the Braves. I didn't realize that Kramers came in as a third baseman. And they converted him to a catcher. Worked out really well for him. Big left-handed hitting dude, big old strong legs and butt, and that's kind of what you see in Kozel. He's got that lower, real strong in the lower half. He's kind of mean. Plays with a little toughness. He would make a good catcher.
I didn't think about it. You really don't find a lot of left-hand hitting catchers, do you? That's a rarity. Like left-hand catching catchers, that's once a lifetime. Left-hand hitting catcher, you don't see a lot of that either. I hadn't thought about it until you mentioned it.
I tell you, if you're a left-handed hitting catcher, you can play a long time in the big league, either as a starter or a backup. Boy, it's nice to have that left-handed bat coming off the bench that can come in and catch for you. So yeah, if you're a guy that can do that, you can play the game of baseball for a long time.
So all the depth that we bring up, and it looks to me like there's depth of outfielders a lot. There's depth of starting pitching. The ability to close games with maybe 4, 5 different pitchers for this team. I mean, you think of the idea of closer stuff. I think just about everybody on this team has closer stuff. But they have 4 or 5 guys legitimately. Fouch will get the first chance. After that, I mean, I think you'll see Carson Wiggins get chances. I think there could be Will McIntyre occasionally get a chance. Whoever doesn't get whoever is the odd man out in the 3-man starting rotation, whether it's Wood or Beidelcheese, they could get the ball in the 6th inning and just finish the game from there. So I mean, there's so many options of who could get the last out or the last 3 outs or the last 6 outs.
Well, I don't know if you heard Nathan Choate did a podcast, and he's the head coach for Washington State, and he was talking about our pitching staff, and he said he's been coaching 20 years. He's never seen that many starters that good in one series. He said everyone's throwing 95 to 97 with really good off-speed pitches, and they all throw strikes. He said it's just something he's never seen in 20 years of coaching, and most coaches think that, but not a lot of them say it, and so. It was neat to hear him say that and kind of give the pitching staff props. But to your point, we have 4 starters that have swing and miss stuff, and we could take any of those 4 starters and put them in the closing situation, and they do a job for us. Now, just so happens we have 2 guys at the back end of the bullpen that are really good at it right now. I mean, Wiggins and Fouch. It's a pretty good combination back in the back end of the bullpen. But if you throw Beidelcheese back there too. He can do any role for you, and I don't know. I think it's just it's a good thing for a coach to have in Dave Van Horn, but it's tough to make out that lineup, and I mean, there's just so many different options to go with.
First spring training game today, Bubba. You get the Cubs and the Dodgers, and it's also the debut of the automatic ball strike challenge system in spring training. 2 challenges you get. If you're right, then you get it. Then you don't lose that challenge. It's only the pitcher, the batter, or the catcher that can initiate the challenge, and have to do it immediately after the pitch is caught. What do you think about this?
I like that as opposed to the automated strike zone. I don't want the automated strike zone, but I think this is something good. I've seen it work in the minor leagues when they've done it, so I'm kind of interested to see how they do it and just see how it works. I think it's a great idea. What do you think? You a fan of it?
I think this is a good compromise. I do. Because, hey, let's just face it here. Even if we like the human element, we can all agree there's some egregiously missed ball strike calls that you got to make sure you have a chance to get right. So I think this is it's not splitting the baby necessarily, but it's a good compromise for me.
Well, you got to look at it. Angel Hernandez retired, so that's going to cut down on a lot of the bad calls. So,
is CB Buckner still out there, your buddy?
What's that?
Is CB Buckner still out there? If anybody out there ever wants to see Bubba's nose get wide and his face all red and you get all flustered, just say the words CB Buckner.
Yeah, unfortunately, CB's still around there. If I was still playing today, there'd be a lot of challenges when CB's behind the plate. That's for sure.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll miss you this weekend, Bubba. I'll be with you next Tuesday and Friday once we get back to Ballman. Looking forward to that, and always looking forward to these conversations on a Thursday. Thanks again.
Well, I tell you what, Phil, I'll be listening, buddy. I'm getting the wisdom teeth cut out tomorrow, so everyone says it's not fun. So there's a good chance I'll be on the couch tomorrow, ice in my mouth and listening to you on the radio. So have a moment of silence for me, all right, buddy?
A moment of silence for your comfort, because it's going to be a while until you feel it. Thanks, Bubba. 877-377-6963 for your calls and your texts. Great specials right now at Fish City Grill in Rogers. Once you're able to dig out, beer battered haddock taco, slaw, Fresno chili tartar, cilantro. It's accompanied with sweet potato fries, seared cobia coming with dirty rice, Cajun butter, roasted zucchini, yellow squash, and it's topped with a grilled lemon. It's all going on at Fish City Grill all month long in Rogers. You can visit them at South Bellevue Road. Call them at 479-636-8833 and get your curbside pickup or delivery. Also online at fishcitygrill.com. We'll break. We'll come back with more in the home stretch of halftime right after this.
I just had to call in, man. I don't know how many thousands of hours I've listened to y'all.
This is halftime.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I'm in a slump. My energy took a nosedive out of nowhere, and I just don't have the motivation to get things done.
You're over 40. Could be lower testosterone. Have you tried Nugenix Total T?
Nugenix, the testosterone booster on TV?
That's right. Look, I felt the same plunge in my energy after I turned 40, so I tried out Nugenix to see if it would help me.
Did Nugenix make a difference for you?
Night and day. My stamina is way up now. I'm building lean muscle at the gym. I'm totally back on my game. And you could be too. Just send a text to Nugenix. They'll send you a complimentary bottle so you can try it for yourself.
Text ROCK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321-321. That's ROCK to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Colton Little here, checking back in with you on ESPN Arkansas, just across the border, off exit 380 in Sallisaw, Oklahoma, at Harry Robinson Sallisaw Ford for the Pick Your Salesman Showdown event happening right now through February 28th here at Harry Robinson Sallisaw Ford. It also happens to be Ford Truck Month, so if you're looking for a truck, this is the place to get it. They're offering up to $9,000 off and matching up to a $1,500 down payment right now on trucks here at Harry Robinson Sallisaw Ford, and they've got other deals as well. And hey, they're having a friendly competition right now between their sales staff, and the #1 seller during this sales period is going to get a paid vacation. So, hey, if you got a top seller here that you love at Harry Robinson Sallisaw Ford, come on down, get yourself on a new set of wheels, and try and get them the vacation they deserve. Come on and see us right now for the Harry Robinson Pick Your Salesman Showdown event happening through February 28th at Harry Robinson Sallisaw Ford.
Join us for the legendary adventure Mystery at the Forest on Saturday, April 26th. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center invites you to share this magical evening of excitement, mystery, and fun. If you are a business or individual looking to sponsor a heartfelt organization or to buy tickets, please visit our Facebook page for more information or call our office at 479-452-2260.
Family, that's what sets us apart. Crabtree RV Center, founded in 1950 by E.J. and Allen Crabtree, family owned and operated, serving Arkansas for 74 years.
I've been working full-time here at Crabtree RV since 1996 after graduating from the University of Arkansas, where I'm proud to carry on my grandparents' legacy.
I know if Mom and Dad could see Crabtree RVs today, they would be so proud.
Crabtree RV Center in Alma, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is already chipping away at 2025 with Joe's Chips and Salsa, made with Tex-Mex house-made salsa, made daily with fresh veggies, even carrots. Try their sizzling fajitas and crunchy tacos. Every Tuesday, it's Taco Tuesday. Joe's has great enchiladas with homemade sauce. It's the best around. Plus a full bar and TVs all around the restaurant. The best Tex-Mex and even better service at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
put a spell on you. Because you're mine. Stop the things you do. What? I can't stand. No, put me down. Put a spell on you. Because
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Oh, look at that! Arkansas baseball will be doing player autographs after the game. Well, before the game tomorrow, actually, 2 to 2:30 tomorrow is what their tweet says. They'll do it after the conclusion of the 2:00 game Saturday, and then after the conclusion of the TCU game on Sunday. Would that be the case on Sunday? I don't know if this is right, because we got an 11:00 game on Sunday. My anticipation is they're getting out of town as quickly as they can on Sunday and not sticking around for autographs. So I don't know if anybody's making plans for it, but you'll be able to get autographs from Arkansas baseball once you get to Globe Life Field sometime tomorrow, I think. Matt, I've settled in on wettish for the replacement for moist this weekend. Although, I mean, we're playing indoors. It's an artificial surface. It's a surface that plays just like grass too. It still has those black pellets that'll kick up when the ball lands, but it plays more like grass than some of the other turf fields. So I don't know. I don't know how wettish it may get at the ballpark this weekend. But if I get a chance to use it, I'll use it.
A little bit wettish.
That's exactly right. You got any Champions League going on this weekend?
Champions League is Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but you do get Premier League. Absolutely, man. You got Europa League on Thursdays, which is today. Man City laid an Amber Heard against Real Madrid, which Real Madrid, this is their tournament. They've won this tournament the most. So, yeah, you're going to the next stages of that. And then Sunday, you get a big one, Liverpool hosting Man City. But yeah, full slate of games starting Friday in the Premier League. You know, I'll probably end up watching 3 of them at least.
I got Arkansas women's basketball tonight at South Carolina, and I'll just, you can put money on it on the Bet Saracen app if you're interested in doing so. But the line is a little bit big. Carolina's favored by 41.5 points. That's right, 41.5 points with an over/under of 144.5. This could be ugly. Carolina is that good, and they've lost 2 of the last 3. Dawn is pandering to the fans by saying she feels bad for their fans after they got blown out by UConn, snapping what was a 71-game home winning streak. One quarter of a single tier is about all they can get for that. So I'm anticipating the Gamecocks coming out and playing in a very angry, a controlled angry way. And you will also see Miriam Dowda, former Razorback who transferred over. She isn't playing very much, if at all. I know she's got another year left, so I'm anticipating that Miriam will play more than 6 minutes a game next year, because that's the kind of run she's getting this season. But that's also the way that Dawn's run things there, where those who are sitting the bench, they're good enough to start for a lot of other teams in the SEC. I mean, Miriam would have been the starting 5 at Arkansas this year. So I'll anticipate she'll get out there and get the requisite 20 minutes a game that the starters or even the bench players get, because they pretty much have a rotation of 10 players that get playing time for this year's South Carolina Gamecocks club. Of course, they won the national championship last year, but they have recent losses to Texas and UConn, and those are two teams that may end up going to the Final Four as well. So that's later tonight. And then, so while I've got the baseball broadcasts this weekend, Chuck is going to be on the call for the women's game on Sunday against Oklahoma. And I appreciate Chuck filling in for that so that I can stick with baseball. And we've got to figure out what Unit is going to do for his homework this weekend. So what have we been doing? We had to do a whole redo of the Beatles a month ago, more than a month ago. He remembered who the Beatles were. After that, it was Goodfellas, which was reviewed very highly by our good friend and show producer C Movie. And then it was not a bowl of grape nuts. It was a whole box of grape nuts that he might have eaten one bite of because they're grape nuts. And then what was it last week? Ed McMahon. He learned everything he could learn about Ed McMahon, who was the single greatest wingman or hype man in the history of television, and Christian is running a close second on radio. So do you feel like you're smarter than you were before 2025, C-Unit?
Yeah. Yeah, I have an appreciation for older movies now and just the way people operated back then. It's... you don't, unless someone kind of like introduces you to it, you don't really know. And that's what you guys have done. So
it's important to have cultural influences from your friends. I guess that makes us his friends, Matt. Not always friends with your coworkers, but I think in this
maybe
case,
he needs to watch Flight of the Conchords to see the chart that says, no, next time I see you, we'll be strangers.
You ever seen Flight of the Conchords, C-Chord?
Mm-mm.
That could work, too. You had an idea, I think it was yesterday, Matt, for Harold and Kumar go to White Castle, since I microwaved some White Castles in the hotel room yesterday, and Clay was like saying, why would you eat anything like that? You've had White Castle before, haven't you, Seaburger?
Man, it's, I've seen some of them, but I didn't know they really were a thing. I've driven back past a few of them, but I've never stopped, no.
He thought you had to get out when you got in. He thought you got on a horse.
I think there might be one
to get your food.
One in Louisiana.
Got a horse allergy.
The way he's talking about them makes me feel like I was eating horse burgers or something. It's like this is some novelty. They're just sliders. I mean, they're just small burgers that are wettish. They're cooked with steam. So I don't know. Maybe find yourself some White Castle sliders in the freezer section, because you go to Walmart, it's there. You don't have to go to the restaurant. I don't remember the last White Castle in the state of Arkansas, and I can't remember the last time I've actually waited in line at a White Castle at 3:30 a.m.
It's kind of like a Church's chicken. I just see them as a thing of the past. But
the Churches, you could still find a Churches. I see them.
There's one in Fort Smith.
There's a couple Churches in the Rock. You still get the big jalapeno pepper when you want it. Yep. You still got Churches. But yeah, you don't see White Castle all around any longer. We used to have one in Pittsburgh. It wasn't White Castle, but they were going to be an emulator. It was called White Tower. It wasn't the same thing. Those burgers weren't moist enough, Matt. Not even close.
Moisture laden.
So White Castle burgers, and Kumar and
your boy
Harold
Dr.
and Kumar go to White Castle.
Your boy Dr. Doogie Howser, MD's in it. He makes a special appearance in that. Do you think he knows who Dr. Doogie Howser is?
That's what I was going to ask him. Do you have any idea, C. Doogie, who Doogie Howser, MD is?
No.
Oh, my gosh. There's a lot to learn here this next weekend. There's a whole lot to learn this weekend. Whether you like your White Castle with cheese or not, how wet do you like your White Castle? That's going to be something we ask you next Monday. What you thought of the movie, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Just how stoned you have to be potentially to watch the movie and laugh. And then tell us all about Doogie Howser. That sounds like an action-packed segment on a Monday, Matt. Well done.
There we go. I think C Movie's
He's a young doctor. That's what I can, from what I can tell right now.
Yeah, but that's only.
It'll break up the monotony. You'll laugh
Like a
a little.
kid.
You'll laugh at least 5 times out loud if you've never seen this movie before. So it'll be good for you. Yeah. Check.
I like
check
to
it out.
laugh. So.
Yeah. And I saw where Judd Apatow is going to make a documentary of your boy, everybody's boy, America's boy. Norm Macdonald has one coming out, and it's going to be produced by Judd Apatow. So just when Prince's documentary got denied, we're going to get a Norm Macdonald. I celebrate his entire catalog. Can't wait to see the Norm Macdonald documentary. We'll have to all have homework that week.
Yes, I think so too. The way it really needs, you need to have it just center around the OJ trial and how he treated it on SNL and how he got canned for it and then came back as a host and went right back to it. It's got to center around that. That ought to be really good. Hey, are you listening to our shows right now on our affiliates? We got 4 radio affiliates within the state of Arkansas carrying ESPN Arkansas. But if you can't get those signals, you can always listen to us on the Hit That Line Now app. You can listen to all the shows. You can view the video streams for all the shows, listen to all the podcasts, read Clay Henry's columns on Hit That Line, and it's all right there on your phone for free. Download the Hit That Line Now app on the App Store for Apple users, on Google Play for Android. It's brought to you by Taco Bell, where you can satisfy your daytime cravings with the Cantina Chicken Menu lineup today. Now stay with us, quick break, and we'll wrap up the show right after this.
Man, you know I'm good when I get to talk to you and Matt, Phil. That's just the way it rolls.
This is halftime.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Old Little here for 95.3 at ESPN Arkansas at the Harry Robinson Sallisaw Ford Pick Your Salesman Showdown event. They've got over $10,000 in discounts happening right now during this sale. They're having a little fun competition, and the winning salesman will earn a vacation. That means they're not going to turn down any reasonable offers during this sale. And also it happens to coincide with Ford Truck Month. They're giving away new 2024 Ford F-150s for up to $9,000 off and a matching down payment of up to $1,500. That's right, you get up to $9,000 off new 2024 Ford F-150s here at Harry Robinson Sallisaw Ford. The selection has never been bigger or better, and your used car has also never been more valuable than it is right now. You never get the better for your trade anywhere other than Harry Robinson Sallisaw Ford. They got the best team, the best staff, and they're trying to get themselves a nice vacation. So come down and see us here, exit 380 off of I-40 in Sallisaw, Harry Robinson Sallisaw Ford.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Hey, Todd Richardson for Jim. They have several locations in the Arkansas area, but I specifically want to talk to you about Jim Mart number 10. Great deli. My goodness. Great lunch, great dinner. But have you had the breakfast yet? It's the best in town. And they have that convenient drive-through window.
So when you're heading north or south on 540, take exit number 6 for Jim Mart number 10.
6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith. Jim, the leading gas station and convenience store in the area.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come get you some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Boom, 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 boom. Gonna shoot you right down. Take you in my arms. I'm in love with you. Love that is true. Boom, 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 boom. I like the way you walk. I like the way you talk. When you walk that walk and you talk that talk, you knock me out right off of my feet.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Well, it's time to wrap up halftime today. First, remember that for decades, the Rebel Crawfish has been a tackle box staple. Right now, we want you to get ready for the next generation. It's the new matte series of Rebel Crawfish. 4 all-new matte colors, eliminating glare and enhancing realism, mimicking a natural crawfish like never before. Same iconic shape in swimming action, but now with a stunning matte finish. That's the matte series. They're all new of Rebel Crawfish today at Walmart, Bass Pro, Dick's, and local tackle shops everywhere. All right, tomorrow is going to be a unique show because it is the Arkansas Children's Northwest Miracles and Magic Radiothon, but because of the weather, we're going to be doing it remotely instead of on site at the hospital because I'm not sure if everybody will be able to get there. So it'll be all day long. All of our shows will be helping to raise money and support and awareness for Arkansas Children's Northwest's next round of expansion. We'll be speaking with some athletes that are representing Arkansas Children's, including Razorback women's basketball player Izzy Higginbottom, Arkansas punter Devin Bale. We'll also speak with Tony Lindsay, used to work at the athletic department because her son has been a patient at Arkansas Children's Northwest since birth. So a very important show tomorrow. We will be asking for your donations, and that means it's my chance for the first time to ever be part of a fundraising drive that kind of feels like a telethon, where it's like the MDA telethon, the Jerry Lewis telethon. That's what it's going to feel like tomorrow. We'll be asking for your donations all day long, and we hope that you're able to help us out with that. It's good stuff today, guys. Tomorrow. Hopefully, as long as everything works travel-wise, I'll be at the Texas Rangers ballpark to host the show, and that should be a lot of fun. Big weekend of sports. Hopefully, the basketball team shows out on Saturday in front of a packed house. And let's see, tomorrow we'll still have our usual guest. We'll talk with Aaron Torres, who looked like he was crowned nearly king of Provo, Utah, for a BYU basketball game this past weekend. We'll also visit with James Teague from the Teague Law Firm about the Arkansas baseball weekend and visit with Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen about what's going on in sports betting. So big day tomorrow, too.
Man, what a lineup right there, Phil. That's let's see if I can say less than 200 words tomorrow. I think I can do it.
You could probably pull it off if you want.
That lineup right there, yeah.
There'll be enough people showing up tomorrow. That's right.
It'd be a tribute to Sugar Ray.
That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. We also invite you to stay tuned for Ruskin and Zach. They are coming up in just a few moments. And our Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast will be featuring all of the highlights, which, of course, is basically the entire 3 hours of the show. It'll be our talk with Dudley Dawson, conversation with Bubba Carpenter, and anything else that Seaburger feels like throwing onto the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast, too. Eastside Liquor is at 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. You can call them at 479-452-7311. They have everything you're looking for, and if they don't, just tell them what you're looking for, and they'll be able to go out and get it for you. All right, stay tuned. Ruskin and Jack coming up in a moment. For Matt Jones, for Christian Johnston, I'm Phil Elson. Thanks for listening today. That's halftime. Now get up, get out, and get better.